sugar-free minimum fill-up of $30 gas at any Guam mobile station. Available exclusively on the mobile app. It's an easy summer win. Fuel up, open the app, and enjoy the rewards. Not a member yet? Pick up a Mobile Smiles card at any mobile location and register today. Mobile and Subway, a great deal for the summer. See store for details.
The road to Adelup continues. This time, we sit down with Republican candidates. Vice Speaker Tony Atta and E.J. Calvo. Catch the full conversation that took place on May 5th on the Wave 105's YouTube channel. Stay informed and hear their vision for Guam's future. Wave 105 is a glimpse of Guam radio station.
Six in the afternoon, we are KGUM FM Dedido Guam. Welcome to the show. It's the BrightSide right here on Wave 105. My name is Ryan Nicholas. On this Friday, June 12th, let's bring it back to the host, Mr. Pauly Suba.
And we do want to thank our sponsors, and that's Subway. You got to refresh to be fresh. Triple J, one night, one reveal, one all-new 2026 Mazda CX-5. Join Triple J Mazda this Sunday at the Tumon Night Market. As June 14, join Triple J for that unveiling of that 2026 Mazda CX-5, designed to move you. We also want to shout out GTA. We start with you, and Chili's Grill and Bar. Chili's, more life, great food, and memories happen here. Welcome back. The BrightSide here on Wave 105. Biba Badness!
Biba, we're finally here, man.
Yes! June 12th. Today's my dad's birthday.
Oh, really?
70 years old.
Oh, my gosh. Happy birthday,
Yes.
Chief. Man.
So I know that, I don't know. I already invited Ryan. And
Okay.
So we, actually, no. We have to stop there.
Yeah,
So
we need to stop it.
You're my plus one. That's it. We got to stop it right there.
Well,
'cause
I feel honored.
I almost forgot.
Yeah.
Let's not mention it again.
Yeah, considering
Right.
considering your dad and my dad worked together.
Yes.
Your dad was
Right.
like one of my dad's boys.
There you
He
go.
was like, I mean, my dad predicted your dad's future. He's gonna
Really?
be, yeah. He was like, I see that guy becoming chief of police, and sure enough,
There you go.
not even like 10 years later, he ended up becoming chief. So, but yeah, no, I mean, my dad spoke highly of your dad. So happy birthday, Chief. Yeah.
Yes. Today's also Philippine Independence Day, right?
Yes.
June 12th, right? And so, I mean, I don't know the whole history behind it, but if
Now,
we
let me
look-
see. The history is they were colonized by the Spaniards.
Yes, since the 1500s, just
Yes,
like us.
Just like us. I mean,
Yes.
as a matter of fact, right after Magellan left, he went over there to the Philippines and met Lapu-Lapu, and that was it.
That's one of my favorite songs, the song that's dedicated to Lapu Lapu.
That's right.
Right.
And so,
Yeah.
and, I mean, culturally, we're, the people of Guam and the people of the Philippines, we shared that history
Sure.
with being colonized by the Spaniards. However, right after the Spanish-American War? Yeah.
1896, Filipinos began the Philippine Revolution against Spain. Yeah.
And then...
On June 12, 1898, Emilio Aguinaldo declared independence.
Yeah.
Right? But the twist is, when they declared independence, USA said, no, you're ours.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And they were like,
Yep.
yeah. So
Spain
they-
lost the war to the U.S., and instead of being free, the Philippines was given to the United States. Yeah. And then so there was never a real acceptance of U.S. rule, right?
Never.
Right.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
They fought the Philippine-American War.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there was talk about incorporating the Philippines into the United States Union, being a state, but a lot of the southern congressional and senatorial people, back then, racism was really, and they had a lot of people.
They had their own
Philippines.
KKK.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like it meant something else, but they did have their own KKK, and that group was like a Philippine independence group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, the United States, people who opposed it, they were like, no, because if they become a part of the Union, they can really dictate who's going to be the next president of the United States. So they don't.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It was World War II that kind of like stopped that Philippine U.S. revolt.
Yeah.
Right, because they ended up.
Yeah, I mean, you had
Japan took over during World War II, right?
You had General MacArthur, who was there, stationed there, and then he had to leave because the Japanese came in.
Right.
And he was like, "I shall return." And that's what he did. He got off the boat and walked in.
So then, finally, the United States gave the Philippines official independence on July 4th, 1946.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was pretty much an agreement. Like, look, okay, you guys are your own people and everything, and you guys were allies with us throughout the war. And
but even after that, right there, I mean, obviously we're still allies. The United States and the Philippines are still great allies.
All the way up till.
But there was a military base, right?
Yes, all the way up till 1999. I want to say.
So even after 1946, there was still a very known military base.
Yeah, Subic Bay.
There you go. Yeah.
Clark's Air Base over there too as well.
Yeah.
But with the agreement that in 1999 they would leave. But now, I mean, there is pretty much talk about going. Well, there is a military buildup via the president right now, Bongbong. Yeah.
Okay.
With the United States.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, and so when I do some surface level research, right, there are three names that come up when it comes to the independence of the Philippines. Jose Rizal.
That's right. We got Rizal Beach down in
Yes. A doctor, a writer, and an intellectual, wrote famous novels, books exposing the abuses of Spanish rule. He led to the propaganda movement, which asked for reforms peacefully. And so basically he didn't necessarily fight with weapons. He fought with ideas. His writing inspired Filipinos to stand up. He was executed by Spain on December 30, 1896, becoming a martyr.
Yeah.
Then there's another name, another individual by the name of Andres Bonifacio.
Yeah.
And he was a fighter and a revolutionary. Born November 30, 1863 in Manila, from a poor working class background. He founded, this is the KKK in 1892. You can look it up yourself. Founded the Katipunan, or also known as KKK.
Yeah.
This was a secret group aiming for full independence. Started the Philippine Revolution in 1896 against Spain. Unlike Rizal wanted peaceful reform. Bonifacio wanted actual revolution. And so he's called the father of the Philippine Revolution. He was later executed in 1897 after internal conflicts. And then the third name, I'm sure there are more, but these are the three names that were coming up when we talk about what led to independence, right, of the Philippines. Emilio Aguinaldo, the very first president of the Philippines.
Yeah.
Born March 22, 1869. He's a military leader and politician. He became a leader of the revolution after Bonifacio led Filipino forces against Spain and later the U.S., declared independence on June 12, 1898. And that's why today, June 12th, is very special to the Philippine people, right? Filipinos, because, again, this was the day that he declared independence back in 1898, and then he became the first president of the Philippines in 1899. Somebody's on the line?
Yes.
Hafide, Wave 105, you're on the air. Hello there.
Yes. Hey there, sir. How you doing?
Oh, gee!
One of the things I found out from the Philippines was that when they made a proposal to become a state, when that proposal was made, guess what? Guam was included as a province.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, that's how close we are. And of course, and the reasoning, of course, well, like what you're saying, but the reasoning is, it's so far away. I mean, Hawaii was so far away, but that was one of the other things they said no because it's so far away. But Guam was included as one of the provinces that would be included in the Philippines as a state.
Oh, wow. So we wouldn't have a governor. We would have a mayor.
Right. Well, that's it. I mean, if we got statehood, we'd be a county.
Yeah,
maybe,
we
right?
we would be the county of the Philippines, and the Philippines would have been the 51st state, right? Or actually, it would have been the 50th state before Hawaii, right?
Before Hawaii.
If the
Alaska,
Philippines became the state, they would have been a state before Hawaii. If that all happened, worked out, right? Yeah.
Right. Well, I don't know. Hawaii was pretty close, right? I think. Yeah, but the thing of it is that you realize that the support, a World War II support, and what the Filipino community, and still up to today, working in our armed forces, is immeasurable.
Yeah.
I mean, and a lot of those folks, culinary was a big thing that the Filipino servicemen was in charge of throughout the islands. I know even up here at Anderson, when I came here in '69, throughout all we call them all mom's kitchens, at all the different bases, right? And we were Armed Forces Police, so we're fully geared, and we'd go into these mom's kitchens. We'd go in the back where the workers were. We'd eat with them,
Oh,
it was.
Yeah. I mean, the relationship that we have with the Philippines is special. It will always be special.
Yeah.
There are so many Filipinos that made Guam their home before 1950.
Yeah, and our biggest immigration, I think, into the States is the Philippine community.
Right. I mean, it was their construction workers that helped rebuild Guam after the war.
Yeah, Rizal, that camp down there. That was all that Hyundai in Santa Rita. That's all. It was all Philippine.
Yeah, some of my best friends that I grew up with in Hoggett are, they can trace their. They can trace their ancestors well past 1950.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, and just as indigenous as anyone else, according to the Organic Act. Absolutely. Yeah, you can get to the Philippines in 6 days. There's an interesting thing, too, about the Philippines.
Okay.
When Magellan came, they, burned the village, kind of a thing, why did you steal our dinghy or something like that? And the joke is the reason why they wanted the iron was, for the barbecue grill. But you think about Taga. Now, Taga could have lived anywhere, but so he picked Tinian. So you think about Taga and Lapu-Lapu. Lapu-Lapu is the guy in Cebu. And those guys, you think about, it only takes 6 days to get there on these Sacmans. With the wind behind you, you got a 6-day shot to get to the Philippines. So
really,
you can see, wow. So you think about cousins.
Yeah.
Who's a cousin here,
Right.
So when Magellan left in his bathtub, those little, European boats are like bathtubs, and the proa, or the Sacman, could get their way ahead of them. And the deal was, when these guys come in, just cut their heads off, just kill them, right? Because of what they did in Umatak. So you think about that in that aspect. They're still looking for Magellan's bones. It's funny over there. They even got a thing that, you go to Cebu and Bataan there to look for Magellan's bones, right? Because it's interesting as to what happened to him. But they were waiting for him. I mean, and I think that's Taga and these guys could have gotten there really easily and let them know what's going on.
Yeah. We're like, wait a minute. Yeah. We're gonna tell our relatives in the Philippines what just went down, and we're gonna get there before they do.
Yeah. Before they, they see that same kind of thing, that same kind of activity, right? Because you're cousins,
right?
You're a part of it. And then Indonesia, Indonesia, when I know Bert Pinko, when he went there, he freaked out because they were singing tomorrow songs. And he's going, what?
Oh,
What's
I mean,
this?
Taiwan
Jamal
and
words and all this kind of stuff, and he's freaking out, right?
The-
But and
the native
even with the
people-
Lottie Stone.
Right. The native people in Taiwan, there's a connection.
Yeah, Formosa. It's Formosa before Taiwan, because Formosa was and then Chiang Kai-shek comes in, with everything from China. That's why that museum in Taipei, I don't know if you get a chance, you go to that museum.
I'll go.
I think that's what mainland China wants. They just want their stuff back, right?
That and the microchips.
Yeah, well, what they're waiting for Taiwan to say, okay, Mother China, we'll be part of your ball game,
Sure. Yeah.
kind of a thing. But but I don't, we just can't anticipate. We never want to project anything less than a willingness to join up in that realm. We don't want to think any conflict or violence. That's all us doing that
Oh,
stuff.
absolutely.
Crazy.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll see you in a little bit. Okay.
Yes, we will see you in a little over 2 hours. Time's flying by fast.
Yeah. Well, you're having fun.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's the only
Thanks.
way to do it. Because if we're not having fun, I quit.
Yeah, no, Mama's rules is very clear. Your mama and my mama is the same mama, and that mama is very clear. She says, boy, if it's not fun, you just don't do it.
Just don't do it. All right.
Just don't do it.
All right, OG.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Another name that we can actually, and it's actually closer to home
Let's do it.
for the Filipino independence, is Mabini.
Okay. Senator Mabini?
That's her relative.
Okay.
Now check this out. Mabini, her relative, was captured in the U.S., was captured by the U.S. Army in March of 1899.
Okay.
But he refused to take an oath of allegiance to the United States and was publicly criticized by the American military government. Mabini and 47 other defiant Filipino politicians and generals, plus 14 servants, were banished to Guam back in 1901. He ended up staying here and having a family, and now you know her as one of his descendants is former Senator Sam Mabini.
There was controversy. Now you reminded me. They erected a statue in Asin.
Yeah.
But that statue didn't last very long.
Yeah, where I believe where they stayed in Asin. Yeah, that's where they stayed. And so they erected it for all the Filipinos that were brought here from the Philippines, because they were pretty much the agitators, and they, and they didn't really want it to go down the way it went down with Spain and the Philippines, because they took it over right after that. There was no a year or two. It was in 1896. They were having problems with the Filipinos there, the Spaniards, and then in 1898, here comes the Americans. And
they should erect that statue again. Just put it over at Skinner Plaza. That's where all of the memorials are.
Well, it's part of the history.
Because they were trying to put it over at the War in the Pacific Park.
Yeah.
And from what we found out real fast how difficult it is.
Yeah.
You can't just
go over there.
I mean, my goodness, we were trying to put up a Gold Star family memorial there. That's where Tim Ono wanted it.
Yeah.
Right? It makes sense to put it over at the War in the Pacific Park. However, it's too much bureaucracy.
Yeah.
So much bureaucracy that it was, even when we were having a talk show, I believe somebody called in and said, you know what, you should probably go work with the office of the governor and see if you could put it over at Skinner Plaza. And so they started that conversation based on a talk show conversation that we had years ago.
And now you go down
look
there.
at it. The Gold Star Family
Beautiful
Memorial
monument.
is there.
Yes. I love
It is beautiful. And now, look, see, there's a pattern here, because now I believe a fallen heroes memorial for police officers is being erected, if it's not already there. And so, the Mabini family deserves that statue. And so
I think
I would put it there.
It is a part of the history, too, as well. Because when you look back at the Organic Deck, everybody that was here before 1950, right, can take part in the actual choosing
absolutely.
of our, of our pretty much political status.
That's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
That is the right thing to do.
And then when you look at people that, the ones that came here to, help rebuild Guam, I have friends, like family friends, whose fathers were there in Agate, in Santa Rita, and now they're half Filipino, half Chamorro. But man, I mean, and these, and I'm telling you, I'm so close with these guys. It's like, wow, okay. And then just to see that, I'm like, wow, this is how,
The reason why it is also the right thing to do is because they were here. These were their homes, and then their citizenship changed without their consideration.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they are human beings. It is a human right. It is not just a moral right. It is a human right.
Yeah.
However, if you are not part of that equation, then you are not the one colonized.
Yeah. And if anybody knows the gravity of the situation of independence and understands the plight of the Chamorro people, it's the Filipino people. They know. They went through it. So they're more sensitive than anybody else. As a matter of fact, they were like, "Hey, man, I'm backing you guys up here.
Yeah.
Like, please fight for your independence." They know.
Yeah. It was very beautiful. I was able to attend the flag raising ceremony over at the Reef Hotel. They do it every year on June 12th. I want to thank Luella Lucinho for inviting me. She's the host of Pinas to Guam. Again, that is a show that Luella Lucinho hosts every Thursday from 10 to 11. They were doing karaoke yesterday.
Really?
On Wave. Yeah, it was hilarious. It was so funny.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
it was great too. It was awesome, not just hilarious.
And in light of the Filipino Independence Day.
Oh yeah, Celine Dion, baby. That's she's like the ambassador.
It was a Filipino that created the karaoke machine. Believe it or not, back in
really?
Yeah.
Oh, we're not even joking here.
Yeah, we're not joking.
Oh
man.
wow.
Like in the late '60s, early '70s. Yeah. So if you love karaoke, thank your fellow Filipino because they created the machine.
Yeah, so I want to thank Luella. It was beautiful. Guam Reef Hotel. They had breakfast there after the flag raising ceremony. I had to run though because we had a meeting that I had to attend here at the office. But I had a great time. It was just an honor to be able to be there and celebrate Philippine independence. 3:26 in the afternoon. After the break, I do want to get into yesterday's DPR oversight hearing because they talk. Remember yesterday and a couple times we're talking. What's up with Paseo Stadium? Why aren't we fixing it? And so it's been condemned since Typhoon Mawar. So we'll get into the details of that. How are we going to address it? I mean, it can't just be over and done with. There's some kind of conversation. I never heard this before, but apparently Senator Therese Terlahi brought it up. She's like, can you confirm if the governor said that they're going to move Paseo Stadium somewhere else because it doesn't make sense to invest more money into that stadium if we're just going to get another typhoon and blow the structure away? And so the acting director is Mayor Bob Lizama, right? Of Jigo.
Yeah.
Right? He said he's never heard that. Maybe there are some kind of conversations about mitigation, or we're talking about mitigation and what makes sense. Maybe there was like a conversation. Somebody brought up an idea of moving it, but there's no set plan on doing that. And I'm like, man, what are we talking about here? I mean, there are plenty of baseball fields that are near the coastline. We just need to strengthen the infrastructure.
Yeah.
I mean, we have my goodness, the Office of Civil Defense said we don't need bunkers, we have concrete homes. So, I mean, we're building everything in concrete. Jeez. So,
That's what Civil Defense said.
Civil Defense said it on the record when they were talking about when they were right before they were going to do a tabletop simulation of a man-made attack, right? Man-made threat. Esther Agagi, the Office of Civil Defense Director, Administrator, said that she made that comment on the record, right? And obviously the media was there and so were able to record it. Said, there's no need for bunkers when we have concrete homes. So, I mean, Paseo is a concrete building. So, I mean, understanding you do have the Butler tin that's part of the shade, but you build it up and then, I don't know, you put the 4 poles and you create, those canopies that you can take down before a storm.
Yeah.
That. Remove the Butler tin that has all of the, because it's condemned because of all the rust that keeps flying everywhere and it's going to get in people's eyeballs or whatever. Remove it. Remove it. Put the concrete poles up in 4 or 8 places and 8 spaces, and put the canopy, the tent up, the one that we can take down before a storm, because it's just, Paseo is just too important. It is a historical landmark for sports. And so when we're talking about what we should do throughout the island, and there's a number of football fields that are being constructed all over the island, cannot forget about the baseball community. That is the original home. That's the ultimate home of the baseball community.
Yeah.
So understanding that there is no confirmation of it moving, but I think that conversation just needs to stop. Whoever is the decision makers moving forward needs to just move forward with whether waiting on FEMA is just taking too long.
I think everybody's taking a book.
I mean,
taking a page off GDOE's book. We're going to build Simon Sanchez, but let's close down some stuff.
I mean, I know you got the $400-some million for the CDBG, right?
Yeah.
Right? But understanding that's for low housing incomes, right? So low income housing. So I don't think that that's going to work. But we keep waiting. We're not going to spend money because we're waiting on a decision from FEMA.
Yeah.
That storm happened in 2024. It's 2026. We're now looking for Sinlaku. And so, like, one thing, too, I mean, FEMA's not stupid either. How long has the building been up?
Yeah.
How many times have you done anything to rehabilitate the building? To say that Typhoon Mawar destroyed it isn't always going to be the answer if you haven't rehabilitated the building or added any structural significance to a building. Not just Paseo, but any government building.
Yeah.
Right? Because if we keep, we'll just check this off for FEMA as typhoon damage.
Yeah.
That's not realistic. I mean, there was one where one of the employees of DPR, when they're talking about what about the pavilions over at Epal Beach, and that's another one. Go to Epal Beach right now. Go to any of the pavilions. The concrete benches on the corners, they're falling apart, and they can cut somebody. They can cut a child. You're sitting down. The edges some of them are gone, and so they're super rigid.
Yeah, so it's no longer going to a beach, swim at your own risk. It's
sit on your own risk. Yes. So they said, "Oh, unfortunately, we because of a Labor Day picnic, we made that place look so beautiful, and then when FEMA came, they're like, this place looks too perfect. I don't think we're going to sign off on this." Well, did you show them the benches?
Yeah.
But even that, I would argue, even that, if I was a FEMA, the person that is going to decide whether you're going to get money to repair these benches, the first question I'm going to have is, are you sure this was a typhoon, or you just didn't replace these in 10 years?
I mean, because look at the rust.
Yeah.
On the rebar.
The rebar's showing. The typhoon did this, or is this just aging?
Yeah. No, you're right.
Weatherization, we live near the equator, very close to the equator. The sun is practically on our backs every day, and then we get rain constantly and typhoons. Everything, all of our facilities go through weatherization, right? It is affected just by the weather.
True.
And so if we are not maintaining them over time, they just need to be replaced, and we just need to be honest with ourselves. Replace those benches, and I'm sorry, FEMA's not going to pay for that. And we know that it wasn't Typhoon Mawar that damaged those benches. We know it wasn't Sinlaku. It just needs to be replaced. 3:34 in the afternoon. We'll take the break.
Yes.
Yeah, Wave 105.
Have you heard? Subway just launched the all-new Subway Wraps. Your favorite footlong, now wrapped in a tender wheat tortilla that's perfect for any flavor craving. Go low carb, hit your protein goals, or just eat better. Subway Wraps make fueling your day easier than ever with bold flavors and curated ingredients. Sink your teeth into the cheesy garlic steak wrap, juicy steak, cheddar cheese sauce, crispy veggies, and roasted garlic aioli. All wrapped up. Subway Wraps. Light, delicious, and satisfying without weighing you down. Subway. Eat fresh. Feel good.
Celebrate Father's Day with Power 98 and Wave 105 as we honor our first heroes. To enter, send a WhatsApp message or call in and share your funniest or most heartfelt dad story. Winners will be revealed from June 15th to June 19th, and you can win your dad a special bundle prize. Stay locked in to Power 98 and Wave 105. Brought to you by Guam Plaza Resort, Nana's Cafe, Roots Grill House, AutoWorks, Jollibee, Proline, and Cream and Butter. All summer long, Chili's Party Platters make celebrating easy and delicious. Perfect for grad parties, family gatherings, or anytime you're feeding a crowd. Available for pickup or for delivery. Only at Chili's. Great value and memories happen here.
.36 in the afternoon, and right about now it's time to help you move forward as we take a look at the roads of Guam. Proudly being brought to you by Guam Auto Spot. If you are currently on Route 1 and you are currently at the ITC intersection, northbound traffic, slow going. You're going to feel some bumper-to-bumper traffic going up northbound. Likewise with southbound on that same intersection at ITC. Let's move on. Let's go see where else we have some traffic buildup. Okay. If you are coming off Route 10A, and that is the Airport Road, heading into Route 1, you're going to have some slow going traffic from that intersection there. And then if you're on that same intersection and you're headed up northbound, you're going to have some slight bumper-to-bumper traffic on Route 10A and Route 1. Of course, that was your look at traffic as we help you move forward. Proudly being brought to you by Guam Auto Spot. Don't forget, you can check them out and set up a test drive at GuamAutospot.com or give them a call, 478-AUTO. We're going to take a short little break, but when we come back, it's going to be The Bright Side once again with Mr. Pauly Suba right after this.
Half a day. This is Luella Lucinio, host of Pinas de Guam. Together with the Filipino community of Guam and Wave 105.1, we proudly celebrate Philippine Independence Month with the theme Kalayaan, Kinabukasan, Kasaysayan, Freedom, Future, History. From Guam to the Philippines, we honor our shared history, celebrate our freedom, and build our future together. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas at Guam!
The road to Adelup is here, and this time we spoke with Democrat candidates, Senator Torius Terlahi and Senator Sabina Perez. Here is your opportunity to hear how they plan to govern Guam. Watch the conversation on Wave 105's YouTube channel, dated May 28th. This is a glimpse of Guam radio station.
Before it became the universal symbol of romance and luxury, this iconic crimson flower was actually used as a badge of war. Welcome to the National Day Spotlight for June 12th.
Long before we began gifting long-stem bouquets for National Red Rose Day, the flower served as a high-stakes political emblem during one of history's bloodiest conflicts. In 15th century England, two rival royal houses launched a brutal 30-year civil war for control of the British throne. The House of York famously marched under the banner of a white rose, while the House of Lancaster chose the vibrant red rose as their military emblem. The conflict tore the nation apart until Henry Tudor, a Lancastrian, finally won the crown. To unite the warring factions and heal the country, he married Elizabeth of York and cleverly merged their symbols into a single crest known as the Tudor Rose, proving that the red rose was once a powerful tool used to seal a royal peace treaty.
They had to look a little bit silly. wearing a rose on their suit of armor.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
that's kind of funny.
It almost sounds like a Monty Python type of script,
It
right?
does,
like
doesn't
you'd
it?
be tucking away this red rose somewhere on your suit of armor as you're.
You're marching into battle. We're also celebrating National Loving Day and National Movie Night. I'm Alice Anderson.
And I'm Arlo Anderson with National Day Calendar, reminding you to celebrate every day.
Balanced, fair, thoughtful. Wave 105 FM.
Walang iba magsasarap sa pagtitinginan natin. Sana ay pinamagwakas itong awit ng pag-ibig. Awit natin ay wag na wag mong kalimutan. Pangako ko naman na lagi ka pakikinggan. Ang isang pag-ibig ay parang lansangan na pandalawahan. Kaya't sa ating awit tayo ay magbigayan. Awitin mo at isasayaw ko.
Sorry, I'm in the mood for Independence Day for the Philippines.
There you go. Heck yeah.
I think it's
I'm here
titled.
for it.
I think it's titled. The song is titled as "You Sing, I Dance." Welcome back to the show. This is Wave 105, the bright side. Here's the number 671-922-1051 or 2. Let's send it back to the host, Mr. Pauly Suba.
Viva Bennett!
Viva!
All right. So yesterday, the oversight hearing on Department of Parks and Recreation, right? And so they've got the acting director, Mayor Bob Lizama, who is also a retired police officer.
Yes.
Yeah. And so he first talked about Tiguac, right? The cemetery up in Nimitz Hill.
Mm-hmm.
So he shared about the short-term arrangement, temporary 3-month grass cutting contract, so the cemetery could be maintained monthly while DPR decides on a long-term plan. And so they put out a request for proposals. A number of vendors responded, and then they realized after meetings and site visits that Property Pros became the only qualified vendor and was awarded the 3-month month-to-month contract. Lizama himself, he visited the cemetery that morning and appreciated the work being done by Parks Administrator John Tidegui. And then also discussed the Public Law 3881, which transfers about 46 square feet of land, 46,000 square feet of land to DPR to expand the burial space. They're already using that area to bury family members. That land is expected to provide another 4 to 5 years of ground burials. DPR began using the new lot in February, and 30 grave sites already exist there. He said more clearing and civil work will be needed. DPR will need help from DPW with engineering and heavy equipment. Infant burials will continue on the older lot until that space reaches capacity. He said DPR is working on rules to control construction at grave sites. Remember during COVID, they were building monoliths there. They were building memorials and such, right, for family members. Like mini homes were being built there.
Yeah.
I think I remember seeing a statue of a horse there at one point. And so, when during COVID, I guess all the construction workers had no jobs. I don't know. So they were working over there, and it's like nobody noticed, and then everybody noticed. Yeah. And then he started talking about the Hagåtña pool renovations. He said the project has been long awaited because the pool has had years of problems, including leaks, broken pipes, pump issues. Yeah, this is not new. The project officially broke ground on July 3rd. I still remember that former director, Angel Sablon, said, in 1 year, we're opening this Agana pool. It is June 12th, and I don't think we're anywhere near it. However, actually, no, we are near it because the target completion is November 11, 2026. So keep that date in your pocket. Because that could be the first day in a long time that you can go to the Hagåtña pool and dip your feet in there. And it is going to be an Olympic-sized swimming pool.
Hope so.
Got confirmation yesterday at the oversight hearing that at one point it wasn't going to be. I think it was a little bit bigger, wider than an Olympic-sized swimming pool, and that's something that they talked to their contractor and said, you know what, whatever we got to do, or we need to make this Olympic size. So they made the adjustments, and it was the administrator, sports facilities administrator, that was there, that confirmed that when it opens, it will be an Olympic size swimming pool. After all of the controversy behind this Hagåtña pool, it should be. As of June 4, the project was about 50% complete. Work outside the main pool, including buildings, bleachers, storage areas, fencing, a holding tank, and a generator pad, is continuing. The children's pool is also being worked on with concrete placement scheduled for June 24.
Yeah.
However, the main pool is delayed because their contractor discovered that a 12-inch drainage pipe connecting the pump room to the main pool is badly corroded and must be replaced. Okay. This problem was not part of the original contract. Lizama explained that the pool had been drained, but water returned even though the water system was shut off. Further investigation found that groundwater was entering through the damaged pipe because the area is a wetland. Yeah. And then now they're preparing a cost proposal and engineering review for DPW and the project designer. The drainage pipe replacement could take 4 to 5 months, depending on material availability. Because of that, the main pool work cannot move forward until the revised scope and repairs are approved. The project is funded through BSP. And so that's why there has been a delay, because, again, it was only a 1-year project. So July 3rd, 2025, then you would think July 3rd, 2026. But that is the explanation from Mayor Bob as to why it now has been pushed back to November. Now on the Paseo Stadium, right? Again, it remains off limits. And he said that DPW Director Vince Areola sent DPR a letter on November 13 of 2025 saying the stadium must stay closed because repairs are still going through procurement. So, when it's still going through procurement, that's kind of some good news, right? Like saying, okay, so the plan is still to repair it. However, when you had that when the conversation kept going, there were things like Senator Therese Talai asking if the governor ever said that she doesn't even want to invest any more money in there. Because why? Because it's in a typhoon-prone area. Well, the winds are strong near the coastal area.
Come on, yeah, all of Guam is typhoon-prone. Jeez.
It's not the only baseball stadium, right?
Yeah.
Near the coastline.
I mean, when you look at the eye, how it was over Tinian and Saipan, there was. We can honestly say that everywhere in Guam is going to be salt air. Everywhere in Guam is going to be typhoon prone. And everywhere in Guam is 20 minutes. Okay, so. So I don't understand why
again,
people
to
get
be
late.
fair, I mean, when Senator Talai asked the question, Lizama shut it down. He looked at everybody and said, I don't remember. No one knows. I don't think she said it. We didn't hear her. No one's told us this.
Yeah.
they all looked at each other like, no.
And I don't think the governor. I mean, maybe she did, but I don't think she would say something like that. I mean, yeah, come on.
Well, when you think about mitigation, because when she asked again, you know, could it be moved? And he goes, well, when we're talking about mitigation, when we're talking about how can we prevent a stadium from being damaged again, I mean, a part of the conversation is finding the right location.
Well, if that's
right?
the case, then why don't you just move everything? Because you already know that Paseo is going to be affected next, disaster we have. Okay. Well, how about take out Chamorro Village? I mean, while you're at it,
Right. Right.
How much
No,
more?
exactly.
Well, how much 100 feet more is not typhoon prone?
No, yeah. So, again, that's not confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
However, I could see where people would make suggestions.
Mm-hmm.
I have an idea. However, that suggestion shouldn't go anywhere, like we were sharing earlier, right?
Yeah.
Again, if we build things with concrete because we learn we are typhoon prone, the whole island is typhoon prone, then you build concrete, you build the poles, right? And then you just use the tarps, not Butlerton. But I'm also confused by it because we built so many basketball courts, open air basketball courts all over the island with Butlerton.
Yeah.
So those Butlertons will fly away eventually too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when you think about how the Romans built their Colosseum, they actually had tarps.
Yeah.
Retractable.
It was open air. It was open air, right?
It was open air and retractable. And they
Yeah.
didn't have bleachers, right? It was cement.
So I know the whole stadium
and
is
it's still standing till this day.
I know Paseo Stadium is open air. Clearly, most of it is. But we're just talking about the bleacher area. The bleacher area, and it provides shade. So, again, you put the pillars up wherever, and it doesn't even have to be concrete pillars. It could be aluminum pillars, whatnot, right? And then the tarp goes on top to create the shade. And people bring umbrellas. So maybe you don't even need the tarp, but it's whatever. And then at night, you don't need the shade.
Yeah, exactly.
That baseball field, again, is so important to the baseball community. They have been waiting a long time.
I've heard stories about
long time.
Little kids that were like, between 5 and 6 years old that are still living to this day talking about their first baseball game down at Paseo.
You heard Jason, right? You heard what Jason was saying yesterday, what it meant to play at Paseo Stadium and what it could mean for the next generation. I mean, we used to, I don't know, maybe we still do. I just maybe haven't covered it enough. But I remember as a teenager and a very young adult, right, in the States, and they were like they were doing the World Series, Babe Ruth World Series in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And I was even considering when I was in D.C., I want to drive up and go watch Guam represent, right? And we were going up against Japan.
I think Steve Guerrero down at the legislature with Senator Duenas, he is like, I don't know what his position is, but he is one of the organizers, the main guys with the little leagues and the baseball whole community pretty much. And I know that just last year, Guam went out to represent, and there were some that actually won. And man, when I was taking pictures, there were like 60 kids from all different teams, and there were guys and girls. So I mean,
and the CNMI too.
When I was growing up, mostly every village had a baseball team.
And the CNMI,
Agana Heights Blues. I remember that. And then they had the Continental Cougars, I think. Yeah.
The Agate Cardinals.
Yeah, and then you got the Yamatic Blues too as well. Everybody was involved. And I think if, the whole proverbial phrase, if you build it, they will come. Trust me.
We already built it.
Yeah.
Just maintain it.
Yeah. And, for the pool, going back to the pool, how, it's going to be Olympic size. Well, when you ask the budget, ask for the Olympic size maintenance budget. Don't just say, "Oh yeah, it's going to be a big, nice, beautiful pool," and there's no maintenance.
So, and even me, I've been saying this. I don't necessarily think that that's something that the government should be involved in. However, The people have already spoken. There have been enough people that have been demanding that this pool get repaired. And so this is the government responding to the people, right? And so that's how this all should work. And so government needs to respond to its community. If the community demands it, then that's how the government should respond in any community or in any society. And every society is different. Every society has their own set of needs, right? And it's for any issue, any and every issue, because again, there are some things that are like, I don't understand why you do this. This might even be unconstitutional, busing children to private schools, right? That are faith-based. Well, this society, this community demands it, and the government is responding to it. And so when we have any issue within the community, when people are calling out an issue and saying, this is what we want, then, you know, the government, whether an individual thinks that that's right or not, that's really neither here nor there. That's really the government responding the way it's supposed to respond.
What you call majority rules?
Yeah. The will of the people.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Not all people.
Yeah.
Not all, because you cannot satisfy all people. But what is the will? Right? I mean, that's the same thing when we vote. Right? The majority of the people voted for these leaders, whether we agreed or not. However, these are our leaders. These are our public servants now. And even at the end of the day, they still work for us. Right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Let me see. So there was a number of other topics, right? We're getting closer. Let me see how many more we can get in before the top of the hour here. When it comes to Paseo Stadium, that was damaged by Typhoon Mawar and then suffered even more damage from Typhoon Sinlaku. The damage included the roof and canopy structures over the first and third base seating areas, 65 destroyed stadium lights, heavy rusting on roof beams, rusting pipes and chain link fences, and damage to the surrounding fence line. And the field itself may be playable, but the facility is not safe for public use. And then again, later on, a number of senators, include Senator Therese Talai, asked it also. So understanding that all of these things need to happen, so what is the timeline? And unfortunately, we didn't get one. It's unsafe to even be there. And so even Senator Therese Talai says, well, then what we will need from you, please, I mean, this is your job. You know, work with DPW and figure out a timeline on when these repairs can happen, because I'm almost even saying, like, it almost sounds like you can find a solution to close off the building area, install another place for bleachers or a seating area, and do without the building facility. Use porta potties. Maybe you do have to destroy that whole concrete area, which I believe DPW also uses it as, I mean, DPR also uses it as office space, right?
Yeah.
And then you just at least allow that baseball field to be used. So you get the aluminum bleachers that come in after you break down the concrete facility. And in the meantime, till we have some shmoney to go around, right? That's how the baseball community uses that field temporarily, right? Because again, I agree, the priorities are not a baseball field when it comes to capital improvements. The priority, Simon Sanchez, hospital, DOC, more schools, right? And so down the line, you do start to see Paseo Stadium going down. But who's to say you can't go get a bunch of those backhoes and the claw that comes down and just smashes the whole thing? You remove all the debris, and then you just put the bleachers and whatnot, and get those and the dugout, and get those kids in there, or get the baseball community in there and play ball. 3:59 in the afternoon. We'll take the break.
Yes.
KGUM FM in Dededo, Guam.
You're listening to KGUM FM Dededo, Wave 105.1 FM, the talk of Guam, a proud Glimpses media radio station.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. After a second day of strikes by U.S. forces on Iran and Tehran striking back at countries in the region hosting U.S. troops, President Trump had been threatening a third round, but
we just made a great settlement of the war with Iran.
Telling reporters in the Oval Office,
subject to finalization of documents, we should get done over the next few days.
Without going into detail.
Probably have a signing maybe in Europe.
Stocks rallied on the news and oil prices fell. But the government's latest inflation gauge shows prices at the wholesale level up 6.5% in May over a year earlier. Britain's Defense Secretary John Healey has resigned.
Healey told Prime Minister Keir Starmer on Thursday that the government's defence investment plan falls well short of what is required at this dangerous time. Publication of the plan has been delayed amid reports of disagreement between the Defence Ministry and the Treasury. Healey wrote in a letter to the Prime Minister that I am now left with no other option but to submit my resignation. I'm Karen Shamas.
Elsewhere, Ed Donahue reports the U.S. announced sanctions against Cuba's state-owned oil and gas company.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio says key assets of the company, known as CUPIT, were unlawfully expropriated from American owners years ago. He also accused Cuba's government of weaponizing energy. The Cuban people have been dealing with fuel shortages and blackouts. Erica Ramos in Havana says the way Cuba is right now, I don't think change will happen overnight. It's going to take a long time for things to shine again, for this to go back to what it was many years ago. The Cuban government has previously said the sanctions punish all Cubans and are aimed at strangling the economy to destabilize the government and its people. I'm Ed Donahue.
Severe storms have been tearing through the Midwest, tornadoes touching down this evening in farmland outside Chicago. This is AP News. El Niño's here. Lisa Dwyer has details.
The U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has officially confirmed the existence of an El Niño, which is a warming of the Pacific near the equator that affects weather patterns across the globe. NOAA says there's a 63% chance that the El Niño will get so intense this late fall and early winter that it would rank among the largest El Niño events in the historical record. NOAA's Climate Prediction Center operational branch chief John Gottschalk.
It's checking all the boxes for it evolving into being one of the historically strong events since 1950.
Meteorologists forecast it will rival or exceed a record El Niño that began in 1997 and helped trigger billions of dollars in damage from heat waves, floods, droughts, tornadoes, and wildfires. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
There's more news at apnews.com. I'm Ben Thomas. Thanks for listening.
One of our biggest problems today is that we are afraid to have others challenge our mindset, and therefore we avoid topics that could lead to challenging conversations. At a young age, we're told not to talk about anything that is remotely divisive, but without having challenging conversations, how do you know that what you're saying is your truth and not just something you were raised to believe? Having conversations is how we learn. It's important to be able to see the other sides of things in order to form an opinion and choose what's best for you. Let's say you were raised to shower with all your clothes on. You could go throughout life thinking that is the best way to get clean, and if you never meet anyone brave enough to talk about hygiene, then you may never know that there is a better way. There's no reason to be afraid of differences. Limiting yourself to certain topics can render yourself unable to talk to friends, co-workers, or even family. To avoid challenging conversations is the same as to keep your mind trapped in a little box. Open your box and start having more civic conversations.
Civility. It's an American thing. From AmericanThing.org.
My name is Emma. I am 13 years old. 6 years ago, I was injured in a car accident that left me paralyzed from the waist down. Once I completed rehab, my mom applied for a canine companion service dog. Last January, I finally got to meet my service dog, Marcia. We quickly developed a very strong bond. Together, we go to my horseback riding lessons, school band practice, swim meets, and archery classes. Together, we pick vegetables, and we like to cut flowers. I love Marcia. She makes me feel like together we can do anything. I can't imagine life without her. She's a part of the family. We are just one of the thousands of teams Canine Companions has paired together over the past 50 years. With your help, we can continue for another 50. Visit canine.org to see the many ways you can change lives.
I can tell that we are gonna be friends.
Do you hear that? And that? And that? Those are the sounds of a healthy and vibrant community. And to this United Way volunteer, nothing sounds better. They're the sounds of children being given greater chances to succeed in school. The sounds of neighbors receiving the support needed to overcome challenges, both big and small. They're the sounds of families gaining access to quality health care and nutritious food for their tables. And they're the sounds of members of our community who've benefited from United Way's financial education programs. See, wherever there's a need in our communities, there's a United Way. People working together to respond and growing the good for everyone. United is the way. So join us by getting involved or giving back. Learn more at unitedway.org.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey. Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, may I ask a few questions?
Yeah, of course.
Do you have any pets?
Yes, we have a dog.
Great. Do you have a pool outside?
Nope, just a big old backyard.
Nice. Another question. Are there any unlocked guns in the home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, let's just talk about what we can bring for dessert.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council.
My name is Erica. My son, Kason, is a patient at Shriners Children. My oldest called me and said Kason got burned. The trauma doctor came in and said he needs to go to Shriners.
His injury was a big injury, and I think a testament to the care that we provide. He's fully functional. He's riding his dirt bike, doing all of the things that you would want him to do.
We're just so thankful that Kason is still here. Go online right now to loveshriners.org.
Real talent is defined by what people can do, not where they learn to do it. So by stopping at the education section of a resume, you might throw away the perfect hire. Skills First Hiring helps you see talent others miss, like more than 70 million stars, skilled through alternative routes. Let their story unfold and gain a competitive advantage, because hiring managers who start with skills are 60% more likely to find a successful hire. Hire skills first. Learn why at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
In the afternoon, and once again it's about that time we take a look at the roads of Guam as we help you move forward along with Guam Auto Spot. Standing by with the very latest on traffic, Mr. Pauly Suba.
All right, let's see if we can help you move forward. Don't forget, motorists are advised to drive cautiously through construction zones, observe all posted speed limits. Guam construction updates, I have them from June 8th through the 12th, and so again, there's striping work that is going down over at Corton Torres and Route 10 intersection. There looks to be some pavement repairs that continue on Saturday, tomorrow, June 13th, from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's milling and paving at the Route 10, Route 4 intersection. And then on Sunday, there's no work that's scheduled, but work may be performed between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. if needed. Once again, motorists are advised to expect traffic delays and plan their travel time accordingly. Please use alternative routes and follow posted detour signs. Reduce speed and comply with posted limits when passing through the work zones. Once again, helping you move forward on this Friday. That's Guam Auto Spot. Schedule a test drive today. Call them up, 478-AUTO. View their inventory on their website at guamautospot.com.
Hi, human. I'm a micro monster, swimming around in your plastic water bottle. But I can't wait to swim in your bloodstream soon.
Microplastics are micro monsters.
Drink me. Wait, what are you doing?
But you can fight back by using glass or metal reusable water bottles.
No!
Don't let microplastic micro monsters invade your body. Find more ways to fight back at stopmicromonsters.org.
The road to Adelup is off and running. This time, we sit down with Republican candidate Speaker Frank Blass and Dr. Mary Okada. Catch the full conversation that took place on May 7th on the Wave 105's YouTube channel. Stay informed and hear their vision for Guam's future. Wave 105 is a glimpse of Guam radio station.
To the show, 671-922-1051 or 2 is the phone line number. Phone lines are wide open. Give us a call and talk to this gentleman right here, the host of the BrightSide here on Wave 105, Mr. Pauly Suba. Buenas.
During the oversight hearing, sorry, I think I went too far ahead. We do want to thank our sponsors here on the bright side, and that is Triple J, one night, one reveal, one all-new 2026 Mazda CX-5. It's all going down at the Tumon Night Market this Sunday, June 14. Triple J Mazda, designed to move you. And GTA, we start with you. Chili's Grill and Bar. Chili's, more life, great food, and memories happen here. And Subway, you got to refresh to be fresh. Biba Betness.
Biba.
671-922-1051 or 1052. We are online, thewave105.com, as well as our YouTube channel, Wave 105.1 FM Guam. So again, yesterday's oversight hearing of Department of Parks and Recreation, Senator Sean Gumatautal asked a couple questions. He did ask Deputy Director Joey Terlai, who is also the Park Police Superintendent, if he was serving as acting Deputy Director was interfering with his normal duties overseeing the Park Police. And so Terlai says no, it's not affecting his abilities to perform his duties. And then he asked who is currently running the day-to-day Park Police operations. And so he shared that he delegated those responsibilities to Lieutenant Anthony Martinez. And so I guess Senator Sean Gumatauta wanted to see if that was all on record, if that was all formally documented, right? And so Terlai said that the appointment has already been submitted and approved by then acting director Warren Pelletier. Attorney Pete Santos is on the line. All right, off a day. Attorney Pete, what's up?
Half a day. How's it going? Biba bed knees.
Biba. What's going on, friend?
No, not so much. I just wanted to call in and say Biba Betness to everybody on Guam. And right now, or I'm not sure if they've wrapped up already, but they had tons and tons of support for Magistrate Judge Jonathan Kwan on getting reappointed by the Supreme Court to serve another 4 years as a magistrate judge.
All right, tell me about him. I know of him. I do know that he is already a judge, right?
A magistrate judge, yes.
Yeah. Okay, and so the confirmation hearing is for him to move up, right?
No, just to maintain.
To maintain?
So the way it works is they have 4-year terms, and they're supposed to only have 2 4-year terms. And if he comes to the end of his second 4-year term, or if a magistrate judge comes to the end of their second 4-year term, they have to get reconfirmation from the legislature.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's like some magistrates, they find out that maybe that's not for them, and they leave after 4 years, and then they have to reappoint another one. But it's basically 4-year terms.
Okay.
You have the option to stay another 4 years for a total of 8 years without having to go through this process.
All right, and that's exactly what Speaker B.J. Cruz was then. A magistrate's judge, right?
No, he was the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court.
Oh, see, I didn't
Yes.
even know that. Wow, how did he do all of that and become a senator and then do the OPA thing? How did he do that in one lifetime?
Right, he does more, and he's done more in his life than like 10 people do in their lives.
Wow, I did not know that he was Chief Justice. I thought he was. A
And
magistrate's judge.
the reason why he doesn't quit is just he said that he wouldn't know what to do if he doesn't work.
All right, that's interesting. So, for the most part, everybody was in favor, right, of Jonathan Kwan staying as a magistrate's judge. I can't see why not.
Yes, everyone was in strong support of him. I worked with him myself as a prosecutor, and have nothing but great things to say about him. He is definitely someone whose work ethic is unmatched, and he takes his job seriously, very seriously.
Pete, when he first got appointed, right, I was at the legislature, and before the actual hearing started, he was there. He was the only one in the public hearing room. The lights were off. I walked in trying to get the place ready, right? And I see him, and he's pacing back and forth, and he's just talking to himself, and I'm like, what is this guy doing? And then I was like, sir, are you okay? You need some help? He's like, oh, no, I'm just rehearsing.
Yeah, there's a saying in the military that the willingness to go to battle is not as important as the willingness to prepare to go to battle.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So he's a consummate soldier. He's also a JAG officer in the Army National Guard.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very well-rounded individual, but I would just say that, ethically, he's irreproachable, and his work ethic as well is unmatched.
Wow. So, I mean, you took time out of your day to go and provide testimony in favor?
I went down there, but then when I saw how many people were in support, I wasn't able to stay because I had to go back to court.
Sure.
Now, the thing is, the reason why I wanted to testify was just because, like the first time when he was getting confirmed, I testified completely in Chamorro. And so that's why I wanted to go now. I wanted at least one person to testify in Chamorro for him. But unfortunately, the time constraints, I wasn't able to stay to testify.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, it says a lot about the individual when the place is packed, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And you wouldn't be able to find... they say people have skeletons in their closet. You wouldn't be able to find any skeletons in his closet.
Wow.
He's as straight as they come.
That's rare. I mean, that's what we expect out of our judges, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, thank you for taking the time at least to share those thoughts about him on the air with us and our listeners. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then also tonight is the Army Ball.
Yes. Yeah, you're sharing that you're going to go there, right?
Yeah, I'm going to head to the Army Ball. And, the Army is older than the nation. The nation is going to celebrate
250.
its 250th anniversary, but this is the 251st for the Army.
And
we're a year older. We're a year older than the nation.
Right. And correct me if I'm wrong, the general was Washington.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
So, that's what I'm saying, Pauly. When you see me, you have to in me because I'm older. Just kidding.
You haven't aged a day.
have a great weekend,
right.
everybody. Ryan and Pauly, and maybe I'll bump into you guys sometime this weekend.
Maybe. All right.
Maybe.
All right, Attorney Pete. I appreciate that very much.
Okay, yes, sir.
Have a good weekend, sir. Yeah, I remember him when he was in GPD. I mean, he looked like a little boy, and I'm like, who is this?
One of my auntie's favorite pupils was Attorney Pete. I knew about Attorney Pete before I even knew him through my Auntie Bonnie.
Yeah.
It's like I think Attorney Pete is my Auntie Bonnie's Karidu.
Yeah. I mean, he just had that young look, and I'm like, geez, is this like one of those police cadets at the elementary school dressed up as you're impersonating a police officer? But he had it all, man. The blue shirt.
Yeah. He told me a story about Auntie Bonnie, right?
Yeah.
Auntie Bonnie is like, she's hella strict. She would give my dad a ticket. And she would give her own parents a ticket, to be honest.
Yeah.
So he told me that I guess she pulled him aside and said, what are you doing? You should go and go into law school. You have the mind for it. You have the IQ for it. You should do that.
Yeah.
And then I guess that conversation led him to go actually do it. And look, he ended up become a lawyer through the military.
Yeah. No, I mean, and that's the same thing my dad wanted to do, right? I mean, my dad's family wasn't, he's from Ematic, and they weren't well off. And so he was the youngest in his family, and he wanted to become a lawyer, right? And of course, they didn't have the resources, financially to do that. And his father just passed away, my grandfather, and he was taking care of my grandmother. And so he decided to join the Army, just like Pete, and see the world through there and try to get more education and everything. And he still wanted to become a lawyer, but the closest thing he could get to it was being a police officer, going to UOG. Then my oldest brother came out, and that dream of being a lawyer just went out the door because now he had to take care of kids, including me. And so, yeah, Pete kind of reminds me of my dad as far as career-wise. So I think that's all automatically a given. Southern boy wanted to become a lawyer, but through Pete, my dad, I see my dad's dream within Pete. So kudos to him.
Attorney General Doug Moylan also supports Magistrate Judge Jonathan Kwan. So I saw that release as well. So he says, I submit with this written testimony last month. Oh, no, that's not where I want to go with that. We also wish to support and thank Judge Kwan for being flexible with GPD and my prosecutors when arrests need to have an unscheduled hearing to prevent a criminal's defendant's release in order to comply with the 48-hour rule to be brought before a judge or magistrate judge. He recognizes that so much more goes into preparing a defendant for a magistrate than simply filing papers. GPD has to investigate and create written police reports, upload the docs into their computers, and then my prosecutors and staff need to conduct its review and research to evaluate and prepare criminal charges, prepare the motions for pretrial confinement, contact the victims under the Victims' Bill of Rights, finalize the legal paperwork, and appear at the hearing. Apart from appearing at the hearings, this elaborate legal process must often be done within 4 hours and filed by 12 noon before the 3 p.m. daily magistrate hearing. The numbers of defendants ranges from a couple, which is rare, to 16 or more criminal suspects requiring a magistrate. Our logistical requirements is 1 prosecutor for 3 police reports, which is difficult when there are 6 full-time criminal courts that need prosecutors each workday. At the end of the day, we are all on the same side. We are all paid by our taxpayers to keep them safe and enjoy the privileges and protections American citizens are entitled to receive. This fight against criminals and the suffering they cause requires every one of us being interested first with protecting our people. People care little about rights when they are being threatened with pain, suffering, injury, and death. This is what separates the leaders from the woke soft on crime. Oh, so, okay. I mean, I thought this was about Jonathan Kwan, but okay. This is what separates the leaders from the woke soft on crime, liberal socialists. Under a week on crime approach, people needlessly suffer and die. Under a strong attorney general and criminal justice system, the criminals are separated in the prison from we law-abiding citizens and residents. Can we get back to Jonathan Kwan? In sum, we support Magistrate Judge Jonathan Kwan in continuing his important role in protecting our crime victims and client. Thank you, Doug Moylan. So there you go. He did. So since we're already on the topic, right? He says, I was elected to protect and represent we, the people of Guam. Literally, that is each and every one of you in this room. My testimony today is on behalf of my client, myself, and as Attorney General, and in my personal capacity. Put simply, I support Jonathan Kwan's confirmation as a magistrate judge for another term. So in this, he also put his catch, release, and reoffend report, right? And so he shares that 109 violations in May, which is an increase of 14 violations since April 95 violations. Within 31 days, 19 defendants were charged with new crimes occurring in April compared with 27 last month, a decrease of 8 cases, arguably creating more crime victims, right? And then so he also attaches his letter to Senator Tello Taitagui from February 24, 2025. I don't think there's any movement on this bill. It is the Crime Victim and People of Guam's Protection Reform Act of 2025. So he's just reminding the community that this is a way that we can end some of the issues that are happening in our community, because he says here is the solution. This bill, he says, these numbers remain unacceptable and need not exist. The community can get better to focus our attention upon financial prosperity and success. If leaders decide that meth addicts and repeat criminals shall not be tolerated, then things will get better. And then see our unrealized plan. Once our leaders or those close to them become crime victims, they too will understand the pain and suffering of those we help in law enforcement. We are smart people. These intolerable monthly statistics need not occur. And so this is his solution. And he's just reminding again that this is what he has sent to the legislature. This Crime Victim and People of Guam's Protection Reform Act of 2025. And he breaks it down. He says in this bill, there is one, speedy trial right reform. And he says that by doing this makes Guam the same as the federal system, extending the time from 45 to 60 days to 70 days. With so many judges and not enough attorneys in Guam, defendants are using the speedy trial to prevent GPD and other law enforcement to interface with limited prosecutors and investigators to timely prepare for trial. Number 2, 48 hours to magistrate. A defendant need not include weekends and holidays to alleviate the burden upon GPD and law enforcement to finalize police reports for prosecutors and for prosecutors to review and prepare complaints and motions to protect our crime victims and residents from errors in erroneously releasing a criminal. Number 3, judgment of acquittal appeal reform. 4, stipulated to portion pleas mandatory. 5, prevent meth addict and repeat criminal release reform, which is intended to protect crime victims and people against criminals against hurting us pending their trials, allows them one release, then lock up pending trial. 6, mandatory reporting of crimes by all government employees, making it clear that they cannot claim attorney-client privilege protection to disqualify the elected AG if they commit or know of a crime occurring against our people. 7, no taxpayer monies to defend against crimes. And so that means employees and agents of government who are accused of crimes, which is, he says, common sense. Number 8, AG controls the office budget reform. This is to prevent other government officials whom AG is investigating and prosecuting from retaliating against the AG operations.
Have a conflict of interest.
To prevent hiring and paying prosecutors and staff, prevent procurements, prevent paying bills such as private attorneys, etc., abusing the government positions. 9, chief law enforcer preventing internal threats and drug test failures, allowing the AG to terminate any employee at AG's office who fails a drug test, protect law enforcers from enemy within. And 10, requiring 100% meth inspections at the port.
Of course, we have to put Pete on.
Okay.
He called back. He was like, please indulge me.
Yes. All right.
Buenas, Safari.
Attorney Pete, you're back on the air.
Yes. Pauly, you're so astute. You notice that was had nothing really to do with the purpose of the hearing, which is testimony about Magistrate Kwan. He took it as an opportunity to spew political rhetoric. And I would say two things. First and foremost, the reason why they're struggling is because he created that bad situation that they're in by chasing away all the ethical and knowledgeable and long-time attorneys. And then the last thing, the reason why they haven't moved on all his proposals, because more than half of those proposals are unconstitutional, and the other half is unnecessary because they already that authority already exists. A lot of the things that he's proposing are just very nonsensical, and they're not grounded in reality.
Well, I have a feeling this is what he's going to campaign on moving forward.
Exactly. And unfortunately, this was supposed to be a confirmation hearing for the magistrate judge, and he took it as an opportunity to spew campaign rhetoric. Now, the other thing is that, well, I said I was going to make 2 points, but the third point is that he's just unethical and corrupt. There's no other way to describe it, and he believes his own delusions, and that's why we're in the quagmire that we're in. He points out that there's a really bad situation going up at the AG's office, but he refuses to understand and admit that he is the reason for it. So, anyways, I just had to, because I wasn't, I didn't think you were going to spew out his, or, air out his rhetoric, but that's he has no.
Well, I don't have a choice if I'm reading a press release.
No. I get that. I get that. I understand that, but
he went there.
That's on him.
Yeah.
He abused that. This opportunity to provide support for a gentleman who is being confirmed, and he hijacked it and used it as a platform to spew his campaign rhetoric, and that's not on you. That's on him.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. So,
if you read
it just shows.
It just
that
goes
just illustrates his lack of I guess, ethics.
Fair enough, right? So again, when I read through that, obviously I wanted to connect what you just said, and then he is also in support. However, yes, in his release, he definitely took the time to transition to his own convictions, right, on how we are going to move forward with fighting crime per se, right? And so,
for him to say that Magistrate Kwan is accommodating is an understatement. He bends over backwards to try to, get the prosecution to do their job. But he tells them, I can't do your job for you, but I can tell you what you're doing wrong so you don't do it next time. Yet they come back over and over and over again, and his hands are tied. He's forced sometimes to release people because the prosecution hasn't met their burden, and it seems like they just keep repeating the same mistakes over and over again.
Right.
But anyways, Magistrate Kwan has been more than accommodating and, graceful with the prosecution. And I encourage the public to watch those hearings, because you will see a really bad pattern happening. And it's just mind-boggling, because first-year law students can do better jobs than what we're seeing on a daily basis, Pauly.
Yeah, for sure. And so,
all right,
okay.
I just felt a need to
You're good.
push back at him.
You're good. You're good. All right,
Okay.
Attorney
Yes,
Pete.
sir.
Adios.
Have a great weekend.
You too. We may bump into each other very soon. So, I mean, to be fair again, right, for anybody that's running for AG, I see this as, this is what AG Moylan is putting it in a statement. This is how this is how we can solve some of these issues. Whether you agree with him or not, maybe you don't. Maybe you agree with Attorney Pete. I appreciate this as a communicator, right? Communicating with our listeners. This is what AG is saying we need to do to solve these issues. And so when you go to the poll, take that information with you and decide. And so people like Attorney Pete will do the same thing. Phil Tydinko, Tom Fisher, Jordan Pauloon should do the very same thing too. How are we going to address the issues that we are facing? 4:35 in the afternoon, Wave 105. Let's go. Yeah, there it is. That's the sounder.
That's right. All right, it's about that time we check in the roads of Guam once again at 3:36 in the afternoon. We're going to help move you forward through your daily commute. Standing by, Pauly Suba.
All right, helping you move forward on this Friday. Biba Benes.
Biba.
That's Guam Auto Spa, baby. Let's check out the roads of Guam. 4:36 in the afternoon. I don't see too many issues down south. Route 2 is never really an issue, but let's just shout out some of these southern villages, right? Biba Hogat,
Biba,
Santa Rita Sumai,
Biba,
Malesu,
Biba,
Humatek,
definitely Biba,
Inalahan,
Biba,
Zotnya,
Biba,
Talafofu,
Biba.
Right? We got to show them some love, because we never say these villages.
Exactly.
Because there's no traffic.
Yeah, we have to be positive.
Yes.
I mean, considering the possible school closures.
Right. Route 4 is nice and easy as well, too. So, Biba, Salampago, Ordot.
Biba.
Sinahanya.
Biba.
Hagatnya.
Biba once again.
Aganya Heights.
Definitely Biba.
Right? There you go. Mangilaw.
Biba.
Barragata.
Viva!
Tamuning's got some traffic. Tumon, you got traffic down there. Not so bad. Trying to get up towards Marine Corps Drive, Upper Tumon. Seeing some traffic there, too. Mild congestion right around the Dedado Flea Market into Chigo.
Viva!
All right, there you go. Sorry if we missed your village. Helping you move forward on this Friday. That's Guam Auto Spot. Schedule a test drive today. Call them up, 478-AUTO. View their inventory on their website at guamautospot.com.
Hungry and need gas? Mobile's got you covered. Now through July 31st, Mobile Smiles app members can enjoy a free 6-inch Subway sandwich with every minimum fill-up of $30 gas at any Guam mobile station. Available exclusively on the mobile app. It's an easy summer win. Fuel up, open the app, and enjoy the rewards. Not a member yet? Pick up a Mobile Smiles card at any mobile location and register today. Mobile and Subway, a great deal for the summer. See store for details. This Father's Day, level up Dad's Ride with 20% off Nano Ceramic Coating. Go Global HP for style or Extreme Ceramic to beat the heat. Call 647-SLAM. Detailing and gift certificates available.
Celebrate Dad in style at Roots Hills Grill House at Guam Plaza Resort. Join our special Father's Day brunch with prime cuts, seafood, and sweet treats. Adults, $85. Children, $42.50. Make it a day Dad won't forget.
We are all for first-time guests and longtime friends. All for First Light and Starlight. For road trips and trail runs. All for mountaintops and monuments. river bends, and battlefields. We're all for showing up and giving back. To protect, to preserve, to pass it on. All parks depend on us, and we're all for parks. Join us at nationalparks.org/allforparks.
Hi, human. I'm a micro monster, swimming around in your plastic water bottle. But I can't wait to swim in your bloodstream soon.
Microplastics are micro monsters.
Drink me. Wait, what are you doing?
But you can fight back by using glass or metal reusable water bottles.
No!
Don't let microplastic micro monsters invade your body. Find more ways to fight back at stopmicromonsters.org.
The road to Adelup is set. This time, we sit down with Democrat candidates Senator Joe St. Augustine and former Senator Dwayne St. Nicholas. Catch the full conversation that took place on May 8th on the Wave 105 YouTube channel. Stay informed and hear their vision for Guam's future. Wave 105 is a Glimpses of Guam radio station.
From Gigo to Molesso, if Guam's talking about it, you'll hear it on Wave 105.
To the show, 4:41 in the afternoon. This is the Bright Side right here on Wave 105. My name is Ryan St. Nicholas. Always a pleasure picking this gentleman up, Mr. Pauly Suba.
Welcome back, Viva Bedness.
Viva.
Do we have somebody on the line?
We do. We have Mr. John.
Off today, John. You're on the air.
Hey, how's it going, Pauly?
It's going.
Viva Bedness.
Viva. Off a day,
hey,
friend.
Man. So I was just listening. I thought it was cute hearing Attorney Pete Santos comment about the AG. And let me be clear, I'm not a big fan of either one.
Okay.
But I just think it's cute to hear him every single time, either on the other channel, on the 97, on the Point, or on your channel, because I listen to both, morning and afternoon. And I think it's cute. Every single time he has a chance to bash the Attorney General for anything he does, he does it. And he does it because he wants to do it. And for him to say something like, well, he took an opportunity and da-da-da, it's politics. It's that time of the year. It's what he's doing when he gets on the air or writes his commentary. It is what it is, right? But I like to see Pete just once, Peter Santos, write up something positive about what the AG has done, because I believe he lost against the AG, right, during the last election?
He lost to two others, right? There were three of them that went on.
Yeah.
Actually, no, because he did the write-in. Yeah, he did the
write-in. But my point is, I would listen or consider voting for someone who has the capacity to just go, you know what, I'm not gonna lay blame or point out this, point out, because every time I hear Pete talk on either radio station, it's always negative. There's, it's got to be 100,000+ or 40,000 of us or 60,000 of the registered voters in Guam can't be wrong when we elected Doug Moylan. We the way Pete sees it. I just find it hard, or a hard pill to swallow, to keep hearing how bad attorney or the AG is. And again, I'm not a big fan. I just think sometimes you could probably get a lot more voters on your side if you just come from a different approach and say, you know what, he did all he could, but this is what I would do. But stop pointing at fingers, because the politics is just nasty, right? Who cares? He's been doing what he can to get it right. And as far as billboards and all that, what would Pete do differently, right? Just tell us. I mean, why waste the energy pointing out all the negativity when all you're doing is exactly what the AG was doing about with the governor or the lieutenant governor or whomever, right? I just think it's cute every time I hear Peter Santos comment about the AG, he's always so negative. And I know that's his competition, but the people of Guam can't be 100% wrong when we voted him. When we voted him in, him being Doug Moylan.
That's fair. That's a fair assessment. Some people need to hear that.
We looked at the choices and said, no, sorry, Attorney Pete Santos, sorry. I mean, that's just me. I'm a realist, right? I'm like, geez, dude, get over yourself. But thank you. And I'm
thanks,
sure
John.
Attorney Pete Santos will call in and say, screw that guy. But and I'll finish it with this.
Yes.
Everyone, opinions are like, you know what?
Yeah.
Everybody has
Right,
one,
yes,
right?
yes.
Everybody has one.
Yeah.
So
and I appreciate
have
yours,
a great
John.
Friday. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, John. And I appreciate John's opinion because that just makes talk show more lively, right? I mean, it is boring just to listen to myself. I air check myself. I'm like, man, I'm tired of listening to me. So I appreciate the calls. I appreciate the difference of opinions. That's, I think we all live here too, and so we can respect that. I'm sure that's what we should be doing. We should be respecting each other's opinions. And so let me put some money on this. $1, it's Attorney Pete?
No.
Oh, I lost $1?
Yeah. It's okay. It's your treat tonight.
Is there somebody on the line?
Yes, we do. We have a gentleman by the name of Frank.
Off a day, Frank.
Off a day.
Good to hear from you, friend. It's been a while.
Yes. I just heard your last caller commenting, and I like to agree with him. I mean, Pete never tried to win my vote. I mean, he always shot me down and shut me out, and attacking me on the radio. I'm a voter. I'm not running for office. He never tried to win over my vote. All he did was attack me when I sprung my ideas and my point of view. And I'm a voter. I ain't running for office. So, Pete has to mature. A lot of times he's very immature. From listening and talk, for the past five years I've been listening to him talk. He's very immature at times. He needs to mature up. The problem we're having with this thing with the adjudication of cases and all that, Pauly, it goes all the way around. This is not a thing just at the AG's office. It's even over there at the public defender. Those guys are overwhelmed with cases, Pauly. People calling in and they can't even get a hold of their lawyers. And I'll put my money on that. People trying to call up, trying to contact the lawyers over there, the public defender, and they can't even get a hold of their lawyers. So this problem is all the way around. The courts, the probation, the police. This is a big issue. And it's not just the AG's office that's having problems with this. There's a lot of cases, and it's just overwhelming for the justice system here. What they need to do is reform the whole system, Pauly, and make some laws for people that aren't repeat offenders, violent offenders, and give these guys a way out, make them pay a fine or whatever, and concentrate on the repeat offenders, the violent people, and they have bullets. Pauly, every time you go into war, you have a certain amount of bullets. You have to use those bullets wisely and aim it to where it's going to count. And we're not doing that. We're just shooting at everything. And it's not right. We need to concentrate on these people that deserve to be in prison. That's all I got to say, Pauly. And it's, anybody listening knows what I'm saying. It's true. It's true what I'm saying. And this is not just a problem at the AG's office. It's all the way around, down at the courts, down at the probation office, down at the public defender. Those guys got so many cases, Pauly. Man, people calling up there trying to get a hold of their lawyer, find out what's going on with their case, and they don't, they sometimes, I say 99% of the time, they cannot get a hold of their attorney to talk to them to find out what's going on. And it's true. I ain't going to sugarcoat it. And Pete knows this. And if he's going to come on the radio and lie about it, then he shouldn't even be at that AG's office, because even the public defender's office is having a lot of problems. They're overwhelmed over there, Pauly. Thank you. That's all I got to say.
All right, Frank.
And if he comes on and says otherwise, he's a liar. Thank you.
Okay, Frank. Well, and so I definitely agree with A.G. Moylan on the part where he says, at the end of the day, we are all on the same side. We all are paid by our taxpayers to keep them safe and enjoy the privileges and protections American citizens are entitled to receive. The AG's office, the judges, the lawyers, the probation officers, they're all part of the judiciary system. It all works together. So,
well, I got to thank Pete for making the AG's race very exciting.
It is very. I mean, not just the two of them.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom Fisher,
Yep.
Phil Tydinko, right? Jordan Pauloon. I mean, it doesn't even matter what the office is. When you put yourself out there, then that means that you are wanting to do public service for the people in your community. So that also includes the Guam Education Board. And so I commend anybody that is willing to
throw their hat in the
put
race.
themselves into this position. Whether I agree with them or not, whether I'm going to vote for them or not, every single one of them does have my respect. They may not have my vote, but they have my respect, right? And because it's not easy, right? However, at the same time, the public does deserve to know how you will serve them, right? Because it's not just about popularity. It just really isn't. And some people, and yes, a lot of it does have to do with popularity. But when we get to the real meat of the situation, the seriousness of it all of this depends on our quality of life. And some of it also just depends on our very life. And so it is important. You must make yourself available to the people that you serve so that we can decide. Because if you don't, then you're not doing yourself a favor, and you are definitely not doing the people a favor. 4:51 in the afternoon. Let's take another phone call.
Yep.
Let's
We
keep
got,
it going.
Joe Malik.
Joe Malik, half a day, senor. Do you mind lowering your radio, senor?
Yes, sir.
Half a day.
I'm campaigning for Bush Curry.
Biba! You got my vote.
You're still the one.
Too hard.
That's too soon. I don't think we can use that one for a little bit.
You're the only one.
Too hard. I think I got my water in the bottle.
Yes, stay hydrated, senor. It's hot out there. It's worse than your ex-girlfriend.
I'm also campaigning for my veteran cemetery down here in the south.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're advocating for the veteran cemetery in the South.
Right, yeah.
Right. Understood.
Can somebody vote on that?
Yeah. Well,
Sending out the
what did you ever talk to Anthony Tyron? What are his thoughts? I know he's an advocate, right? For veterans. I mean, all of them. Every single senator. We should. Yeah.
To Tony Tyron.
What did he say?
But he's more concerned on the medication or the take-up.
Okay.
For the VA.
Right. We're running out of...
too liberal, that up.
Right. I mean, it's a fair question, right? We're running out of space, right? This is the final resting place for our loved ones.
You know, only right by the Catholic cemetery next to it, so that the people that has the family at the Catholic cemetery, and then the VA right next to it, close by. They don't have to be driving around, running around.
Right. Yeah.
And PT if you imagine the veteran down on Malaysia.
No, I mean, I'm thinking about...
the families to go up to PT.
Yeah, it is a far drive, but in Alahan's even further. That's clear on the other side of the island.
Nobody will cover Malaysia, Muscat, Alahan, Tarufo, even Ordut. But the thing is, Pauly, if the veteran is staying up in the morning and he wishes to be buried down here at the south, that's, there's nothing wrong with that. Because most of his family is living down there, Malaysia or Alahan. The veteran or the spouse want to be buried down here. There's nothing wrong as long as he's a veteran or her, and the spouse. It all depends on the veterans where they're going to be buried, either down near the south or up at the north. If they can handle, if they can have northern clinic and southern clinic, why can't they have southern cemetery, VA?
What are your thoughts on just, because maybe I don't even know the answer. Maybe you are doing this already. What if it wasn't a veteran cemetery? I know that that's the ideal vision of yours. But what if it is a public cemetery? But
it all depends on the individual. Like my first cousin, he wants to be buried with a wife up a Lady of Peace.
Right. And so what if, is that free for the veteran? Is that free burial service for the veteran?
Yeah, you have to go to the VA office and...
Okay. And so how does that work?
And they give you, I believe, $800.
$800 for burial. Okay, and that doesn't necessarily mean that you would be buried in a veteran cemetery. They'll give you that money to be buried.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. And the veteran can make a choice. Either the Lady of Peace or somewhere else. But don't have to be directly over to the VA.
Okay, so that benefit exists now. So what you really are advocating for is a reputable veteran cemetery where all veterans and their spouse can be buried, because that's how you honor them, right? Yeah. That's what you're really advocating for, because already the service, the benefit of getting a free burial service already exists, whether you're in a veteran cemetery or not, right? Is that what you're saying?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for that, because I didn't know that. I didn't know the answer to that. You good? Anything else, Senor?
One more thing.
Yes, sir.
Can you help me tomorrow with the bush cutter?
Bush cutter? You need a bush cutter, friend?
No, bush cutting partners to bush cut.
Where at? Tomorrow? How about two weekends from now? Because tomorrow I am busy. 2 Saturdays from now. I'm looking at the calendar. Saturday the 20th.
You're gonna talk to me because the distance and the gas and oil, the whip.
No. If I have time, I'll go down and I'll join you. I'll bring my bush cutter down.
Never mind. I'm just kidding.
Don't kid like that, because I'm ready.
Because business.
No, don't kid like that. If you need help, I just got to make sure that my schedule counts or works out. Because, I am booked tomorrow.
If I need help, I'll call you. And I'll let you know.
Okay, senor.
Time.
Okay, yes, please. Please, senor, because even when my wife asked me...
Thing, I'm busy painting for acrylic paint for my grandson's new house.
Okay.
They're building Lara Ipan is building his new house, so I'm painting for him my Christian house of army.
There you go. And so that's going to be your gift to him for his new home.
Yeah.
What are you painting?
I painted about 7, maybe 6.
Wow.
7.
How fast do you paint that? I feel like it takes you at least a
The
weekend.
living room, I turn on the air con, watch TV.
Well, you're
at the same
retired,
time.
right? So yeah. Well, how long does it take? An hour or two? 3 hours?
It all depends on the size.
Yeah. Regular.
The one I gave you guys,
I think we still
the
have
fish?
Oh, no, we don't have it. Patty took it home already.
Oh.
Yeah.
That size, one of that, and a smaller one.
Right.
He's going to be happy because, housewarming.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's my only gift to him, housewarming,
Well,
painting.
that one's going to be very special. I can only imagine because the ones that you've gifted us are very special. Senor,
Yeah.
I got to run. It's 5 o'clock, but thank you for calling and keeping us company.
Okay.
Okay.
Sir.
Adios.
Hey.
Hey.
Have a nice weekend.
You too, senor.
Yes, that's enough.
Adios. Okay. 4:59 in the afternoon. Let's take that break. On the other side, some good news.
Yes.
Right here on Wave 105. That's all brought to you by Provisions Guam.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. Thursday began with more U.S. strikes on Iran, more retaliation from Tehran, and the threat of yet another round from President Trump. But Ed Donahue reports
President Trump says he canceled strikes against Iran because it looks like a deal is close to end the war.
We have a signing soon, and the documents are in pretty final shape. So we'll see. We'll see. Very good. Should be done. That should be done pretty quickly. They want it every bit as much as everybody else wants it.
The president has said a deal would be done quickly before. Why is this different?
They've taken a pounding like very few people could take.
The president talked about the high price of oil and gas because of the closure of the Strait of Hormuz.
When oil comes down, everything else comes down. And most importantly, we have a deal that Iran will never have a nuclear weapon, which was the whole purpose of what we had to go through to get this.
He believes Iran's supreme leader has signed off on a deal. Ed Donahue, Washington.
stocks rallied on the news while oil prices fell. But the latest economic data reflects the war's impact. The Labor Department's Producer Price Index up 6.5% in May from a year earlier, the strongest inflation since 2022. Meanwhile, Damian Troisi reports SpaceX is making its initial public offering Friday.
It's the first offering of stock to the public and involves a prospectus that lays out a business plan. That plan includes detailed information on a company's finances, operations, and leadership. In an IPO, banks and other financial institutions act as intermediaries. They buy the stock being issued by the company and then sell it to the public. Before that happens, they gauge investor interest to determine a final offering price. An IPO can bring in a surge of investment that a company can then use to expand, but it's all up to the market.
Severe storms are again hitting the Midwest. Tornadoes confirmed in mostly rural areas southwest of Chicago. This is AP News. Lights, camera, cage match.
A temporary arena called The Claw is expected to seat about 4,000 people for the 7 UFC fights being staged Sunday on the White House lawn to celebrate the 80th birthday of President Donald Trump and the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence.
The number of foreign leaders that want to come to this is unbelievable. It's to the point where we may have a diplomatic crisis.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
Some of them don't even have a fighter in the fight from their country. They just want to come because they are fans of the sport and they follow it.
More than $60 million and tens of thousands of hours of labor have been poured into building the arena. As to the appeal of the event, UFC President and CEO Dana White.
We're all human beings and fighting's in our DNA. We get it and we like it.
The event will go on, rain or shine. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
There's more news at apnews.com. I'm Ben Thomas. Thanks for listening.
5:03 in the afternoon. And right about now, it's time for our first look at the 5 o'clock hour at the roads of Guam. As he helps you move forward along with Guam Auto Spot, Mr. Pauly Suba, Buenas.
All right, let's see if we can help you out. Starting in Hagåtña, Marine Corps Drive. There are some issues here. Mild congestion right at the intersection, the Chief Papua intersection. But once you kind of get through that area, whether you're headed up to Sinahanya or continuing north onto Marine Corps Drive to the Tumuning area, it shouldn't be too much of an issue until you actually get into Tumuning. Then you are going to see some issues, so obviously at the major intersections as well as in the Upper Tumon area. Route 16 is starting to see some heavy traffic start to build up. It's going to get more congested as we get deeper into the 5 o'clock hour, especially around Harmon Loop. And then, of course, Route 10A. That always is an issue around this time and has been since 3 o'clock, trying to get past the triple B forwarders down to Route 10A and then back onto 1. Expect those delays. That's really just something people just go through because they're conveniently in that area. It just makes more sense than trying to go around it, because at this point, most of us know, and if you haven't, I'll just remind you, Teason Parkway is not a shortcut. All right? It may seem that way, and then when you get closer to triple B forwarders, you will quickly realize you should have went down to Route 1 instead. Or you should have stayed on 8. Once again, helping you move forward on this Friday, that's Guam Auto Spot. Call them up, 478-AUTO. View their inventory on their website at guamautospot.com.
KGUM FM, Dedido. Powered by Glimpses Media.
Young or old, black or white, or anything in between. From employees to entrepreneurs, doctors to detectives, some things define us and set us apart, but there's one thing that binds us. Before anything, we are one thing. Born to be Americans, proud to be Americans. Our United States are our united fates. Know your Constitution.
Unity. It's an American thing. From AmericanThing.org.
The road to Adelup is in full swing. We recently spoke with Democrat candidates Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio and Senator Tina Munia Barnes to learn more about their vision for Guam. Catch the full conversation that took place on May 26th on the Wave 105's YouTube channel. This is a glimpses of Guam radio station.
All summer long, Chili's Party Platters make celebrating easy and delicious. Perfect for grad parties, family gatherings, or anytime you're feeding a crowd. Available for pickup or for delivery. Only at Chili's. Great value and memories happen here.
When a warrior faces adversity, he fights through it. He finds a way. Freedom isn't free. Rolling strong. Belief. Believe you can, and you will.
Wheelchairs for Warriors provides mobility solutions to veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Join the mission and visit wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
Half a day. This is Luella Lucinio, host of Pinas de Guam. Together with the Filipino community of Guam and Wave 105.1, we proudly celebrate Philippine Independence Month with the theme Kalayaan, Kinabukasan, Kasaysayan, Freedom, Future, History. From Guam to the Philippines, we honor our shared history, celebrate our freedom, and build our future together. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas at Guam!
The road to Adelup is here, and this time we spoke with Democrat candidates, Senator Torius Terlahi and Senator Sabina Perez. Here is your opportunity to hear how they plan to govern Guam. Watch the conversation on Wave 105's YouTube channel, dated May 28th. This is a Glimpses of Guam radio station.
Bullets start chasing. I begin to stop. We begin to wrestle. I was on the top.
Welcome back to the show. This is the Bright Side right here on Wave 105. We'd like to thank you for tuning in. Let's bring up the host, Mr. Pauly Suba. Buenas.
We do want to thank our sponsors. That's GTA. We start with you. Chili's Grill and Bar. At Chili's, more life, great food, and memories happen here. Subway, you got to refresh to be fresh. And Triple J, one night, one reveal, one all-new 2026 Mazda CX-5. Don't forget, join Triple J Mazda at the Tumon Night Market this Sunday. That's June 14. Triple J Mazda, designed to move you. It's now time for good news for a change, right? And that's, again, brought to you by Provisions Wine and Cheese. They serve fresh salads, delicious sandwiches, and authentic Roman-style pizza. Provisions, open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call Provisions at 671-633-9463. Place your order today or visit their website, provisionsguam.com. And so this super fan from the New York Knicks, I don't remember how old he is, but his namesake is Carmelo Anthony. You know Carmelo Anthony, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this kid, his name is Carmelo Anthony Rios.
Okay.
And he was gifted. He's a huge fan of the New York Knicks, him and his dad. And his mom bought him Game 5 tickets to the Eastern Conference Finals. However, when he got the tickets, he was so grateful. His dad kind of got some hate, though, on TikTok because the dad was on the phone the whole time.
Trying to scalp it?
No, just on his phone scrolling.
Oh, man.
While the mom was videoing, TikToking, filming her son, saying, "This is for you and your dad."
Yeah.
These tickets are like $5,000.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Some of them are a little bit cheaper, but they're further up.
Yeah.
But and she bought two, so that's why I think that it was a total of like $5,000. Right? They're still hard to come by.
Yeah, even the nosebleed section.
Yes, absolutely. I think they were
$1,000.
still gonna be in the nosebleeds, or not as high up, but somewhere up in the
mid nosebleed.
Yeah, right. So she's recording him, and obviously he's crying.
Uh-huh.
He's super grateful that he's getting these Game 5 tickets that are for the New York Knicks. This is against the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah.
However, the New York Knicks sweep the Cavs, so there is no Game 5.
Oh, man.
So he doesn't get to go for the very first time to watch the Knicks play in these playoffs. So guess who finds out about this? Because TikTok, again, they support each other. They started tagging his namesake.
Yeah.
Carmelo Anthony, you need to get him to a Knicks game. Carmelo Anthony reaches out to this family.
Nice.
Yes. And not only does he get him these tickets to watch the Knicks in the NBA Finals, not just the dad, but even the mom gets to go.
Nice. Even better.
And the reaction was insane because guess what game this was? Yesterday's game.
Wow. Even better.
So he goes to watch the New York Knicks break the record of being the team that was down by the most amount of points, 29 points.
Yeah.
In the third quarter, I believe. Watch the Knicks make that amazing comeback and win by 1 point. And they captured it all on TikTok.
Awesome.
The reaction of watching the team, the whole family. He met Carmelo Anthony as well. And there's a video that just like you can't help but just get emotional because the way Carmelo Anthony, the NBA Hall of Famer, right, embraces this kid. It's like you couldn't ask for a better story.
Of course.
Right? I mean, this is your namesake. You're named after this dude. Right? And so the only gripe I have is like there are better Knicks players that you could have named your kid after.
John Starks.
Patrick Ewing Rios.
Yeah.
But Carmelo Anthony Rios. Carmelo Anthony Rios sounds, it flows better than Patrick Ewing Rios. But I have a feeling there are going to be plenty Jalens.
Yeah.
There are plenty Jalens. 9 months from now, you're going to have plenty Jalens being born
I think
in New York.
When Mariah Carey came out, everybody
Mariah?
Oh, my gosh.
There are plenty Jordans.
Yeah.
How many Jordans do we know today?
Exactly.
I know a few.
Yeah.
Not Michael, Jordan.
Yeah, just Jordan.
Yeah. Yeah. LeBron, I love LeBron, but I just can't see it.
No, I'm sorry.
I can't.
You know, it's just
I can't
it sounds
see.
too French for me. LeBron.
It sounds more French than Victor.
And what would the nickname for LeBron if he was named after, locally, right? Because everybody has
LeBron Tanatongo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't flow.
LeBron Mandalisa.
Because even Jordan Azuzu still sounds fine. Right? Jordan Meskin.
Yeah.
Still sounds fine.
LeBron Tetpahagu.
It sounds fine. But LeBron Maanyao. LeBron Maanyao. No.
Yeah, no, this one it'll just roll with the tongue.
Okay.
LeBron Lefevre.
Okay.
Anything with LeBron Lazama.
LeBron Lazama. There you go. We found one. LeBron Lazama works.
Oh, man. We could go on and on, man.
All right. Good news for a change. Once again, shout outs to Provisions. Go check them out. They're near Bank of Guam. It's not too hard to find.
Great sandwiches.
Challenge Santa Papa.
Oh, man. Yeah. Go check out.
Saturday, they're open till 3.
I ordered their tuna melt. It was awesome. I mean, I'm a big sandwich eater, and when I tried their tuna melt, I was like, okay, this is no joke.
Yeah. There's a reason why they put their pop-up stores there too. There are some really good pop-up shops every now and then over at Provisions, and so while you're there, definitely grab some wine, grab some cheese, grab some pizza, grab the salad, all of it. It's all so delicious. We got somebody on the line? Yeah. All right. We'll just take it.
Sister Verna.
There you go. Half a day, Verna. How is your summer going?
Oh, man, Pauly, doing so much catching up, but it's really nice doing nothing when I can. Like right now I'm outside with my dog.
For sure.
And just taking in everything because the weather's been nice and hot. And she's been inside all day. But I got to tell you, doctor's appointments and dental appointments, catching up and doing some cleaning, to get rid of stuff, to kind of, purge and do stuff. I try to do that every summer.
Yeah.
But I've got to mention, yesterday was my first ever colonoscopy. I'm at that age, and it was whatever, GRMC, they were awesome. It was Dr. Mike Cruz and his team of awesome people. Nice. And there's one name that I can't think of right now, but it was all women. So I was just like, woohoo, Biba females, Biba from Malawan.
For sure.
One young lady named Melanie, and they call her Melly. And then another one named Laura. And then there's a third one, and I could have sworn I would remember it, and I didn't. So I think I'll call next week once I find out. But there were 3 of them, you know what I mean? And I was just in good hands. And I'm just going to be honest, I was nervous, and the prep was just absolutely awful. So it's something you got to do.
It's invasive?
And,
Is it invasive?
Didn't eat the whole day before, even though they said I can eat like broth or whatever, something, whatever.
Okay.
I just drank water. I was just too scared to eat anything. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think I ate 1 little pack of Jell-O, but I don't want to drink calamansi or anything lemonade flavored for at least a month. Because that's what I have to do. I have to put that stuff in to kind of try to make it taste better. And it was just ridiculously sweet, just way too much, you know what I mean? So it's like water tastes so good for the next month or so, until like maybe end of July. But, so all that. And then we're kind of nervous with our school that's kind of like they're thinking of like closing us up and putting us together with another school. And so next week is the board meeting, which I'm going to attend. Okay. And then there's going to be a hearing. And so just trying to keep myself abreast of everything, considering everything that's going to be affecting me and whatnot. And even though I plan to retire in a year, I'm going to do what I can and be there for my teacher friends and whatnot because, village schools are really important. And I'm from Santa Rita, and I teach at Harry S. Truman. And we're just hoping our school, all schools stay open, not just my school, all schools.
So, I am aware of the board hearing. What hearing are you talking about? The oversight hearing of GDOE?
Apparently, there's going to be an oversight hearing. can't remember if I have the date for that, but I know the board meeting is next week, Tuesday at 3.
I'm aware of that. So, okay, so I do know that Senator Vince Bora is putting together an oversight hearing. He wants to get the details on the closures of schools and even the closure of JP Torres. And so, are you telling me that there are a number of teachers that are very aware of this oversight hearing that want to go and testify?
I don't know. We're just kind of trying to get our ducks in a row, and check each other because it is summer. Some teachers are off island.
Yeah.
But I'm one of the few that's here, so I'll be there to voice out my concern and my opinion.
Sure.
Everybody's entitled to them.
Yes.
And whatnot. And, I'm just going to fight as hard as I can to keep our namesake, our school open because, man, Pauly, just listening to the kids, even former students of mine and everything, there's one that I'd like to read to you that she's going to be a senior at Teason High School.
Okay.
And she sent me, I met her accidentally because I can during the middle of the day. I went to Port Mocha, in Higatnia. And she works there. She's working there for the summer.
Wow.
And she's one of my former students from Harry S. Truman.
Okay.
And so we've been kind of back and forth texting each other. And wait, I'm trying to find her text. And her text is one of those texts that
when did she send this text? Was this the first time you guys had the stakeholders meeting down south and the?
No, nothing. We didn't have anything yet.
Okay.
But this text is basically like what you're saying. Your feel good.
Sure.
Good news.
Yeah.
And everything, and I am going to be reaching out to former students because one in particular, his name is Adrian Esquadra. He just graduated from Southern High. He was number 6.
Nice.
And he's what I love about him that he comes from an awesome family. His older brother is one of my godsons, but he wore on his cap. You know how the kids can personalize it.
Yes.
And we're so proud of him that he put Save Truman on his cap.
The only reason why I say this is because there was when Dr. Eric Swanson was still the superintendent. There was a town hall meeting with Joe Sanchez.
And I attended that. And whatnot. And and the kids spoke out, former students and whatnot. And we're doing that again. We're kind of getting everybody together to kind of like.
Which is very stressful, right? Because from what we heard was you did a lot of work. Even the Santa Rita Sumai mayor showed up. And the board already said, the board already confirmed that Harry S. Truman will not be closed. And so there was a sigh of relief. But now the stress levels are high again, right?
Yes, tensions are high and everything. And it's summer. We're supposed to be, kind of like refueling, resting and whatnot, but we're stressing. Instead of resting, we're stressing.
Okay. Thank you for that.
And Pauly, I'm the type of teacher, way back in Head Start when I promoted, I remember wearing like the white gown and the cap and everything, when I was in Head Start. And I sang this song, Que Sera, Sera, by myself. I don't know how that happened, but I was brave enough to go up. So I'm if what will be, but we're going to do what we can to see what we can do to fight. We're going to do what we can to fight to save our school, and I'm sure Talafofu is going to do the same thing. I'm sure Inrahan Elementary is going to do the same thing because, these are the village schools. And, Pauly, I love seeing the kids in my church. I see them outside in the community, and, I'm like naming, that's Alpha Server was my student, that the kid that's lecturer, he's lecturing in Chamorro, he's reading in Chamorro. He was my student. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that because this is the village school, like I said, and we see the kids grow up, most of them, unless they go off island and whatnot or join the military. So, I'm just going to do what I can and everything. And there's so many of them. And I love seeing former students and saying hi to them. But there's one in particular. Can I read the best text I ever got? That this school year, I'm going to be honest, was pretty tough. It almost made me think that, okay, that's it, I'm done, or I have a criminal justice degree, let me go ahead and try something else, kind of a thing. And having coworkers and teacher besties really work out. They really help out, and everything, because that's what got me through, because it was a pretty tough year. Anyway, my student, who's going to be a senior at Teason High, she wrote this to me. And it just literally touched my heart and reminded me and got me forgetting what happened in the last school year and reminding me why I do what I do. And it reads, a lot of things I want to say, but I'm at work, and I couldn't really talk. So grateful I saw you today, my amazing teacher. I almost cried because you taught me a lot though you're almost done teaching, because I told her I was about to retire. Just know if it wasn't for your kindness and love as a teacher or a friend, I wouldn't have made it here where I am today. Thank you for helping me strive. Thank you for seeing hope in me when I didn't have anything. Thank you for blessing me with times and memories as a kid I would never forget. Thank you for also making school and your class feel like home. I know deep down everyone in the class loved you, especially me. Thank you again.
Wow.
Oh, my God. I was like sending that to all my teacher friends.
Yeah.
I didn't post it on Facebook yet, because I'm going to post it randomly. Because just this past summer, I've met at least 5 to 10 former students, and they're doing good. A couple of them are married, and they have kids. And just seeing them, become good citizens and help out our island and, not leave, just gives me hope and everything. And they're trying to give back to the community. And so that reminds me why I do what I do. And it's not all about the academics. It's not all about the test scores. It's about being there for the students and helping them to have good coping skills and to just be a good person, to make good decisions.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. Just, oh, my God. I'm glad I didn't cry, because I cried when I read it. And when I was talking to other people about it, especially my teacher friends. So, again, this is why we do what we do. Oh, my gosh, wait. So there's that saying, we don't do it for the... Wait, the car's going by, sorry. We don't do it for the income, we do it for the outcome, and there's proof right there.
Right.
7 years later, because she was my 5th grade student.
Wow. That's pretty powerful. I mean, that's the kind of impact that you have on these children, right? And they remember you when they're adults. It's beautiful.
Yeah. And I really don't remember doing much. I don't know what made me stand out. But apparently I did something that she remembered it 7 years later.
Oh, and that's the beauty of it all, right? Because sometimes we don't know how we make an impact on somebody.
Right? It's not immediate.
Right.
We don't get the feedback immediately.
Right. Yep. And sometimes it's the little things that make it the biggest difference.
And this made the difference for me. I told her, my response was, oh, my heart is so full of gratitude. This is one of my toughest years teaching, and I really, really needed to see this. Thank you so much. That was my response to her.
There you go.
Yeah. So, just remember, the impact that, that everybody's going to be affected by decisions that I made at the top, and everything. And they just need to consider that. And we're not, again, it's, we just want to be there for our students and having village pride. And part of it is that. And I did want to throw out, we have that papaya, the papaya block party.
Okay.
Starting for the first time tomorrow and Sunday at Santa Rita Community Center, which is from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. I'm going to be checking it out on Sunday because my goddaughter is a performer for Skip.
Sweet.
And we're going to make an effort and be there for her on Sunday because tomorrow I've already got stuff to do. So Sunday I'm definitely going to be there.
Wait, so Skip, I thought Skip had its concert already. No, it's this Sunday?
Oh, yeah, yep. They did have their concert, but this is the first time they're not going on their summer trip, to the States or to, a foreign country.
Okay.
Like they go to Canada, Europe, or,
right.
Different. So this one is just the Skip kids just helping out the community, and we were able to, ask them to perform because it's summer and it's hard to get anybody, but they're performing, and I love it because, we're from Santa Rita, so we've got a Skip dancer from Santa Rita, and we're going to be there to support her and everything.
There you go. What time Sunday?
It's pretty much 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
When will Skip be
my girl performs at 12:30.
There you go. So there you go.
For my Sophia Mindiola.
The rest of our audience knows Saturday, Sunday starts at 10 a.m. Down in Santa Rita, Sumai. And then if you happen to be in the area at 12,
and
go
check out the Skip dancers.
Yes.
We have one girl from Santa Rita performing.
Nice. All right, Verna, thank you so much for sharing. I always appreciate these phone calls.
Thank you. And I'm still outside, and you know how it is, just like with kids, dogs, they start making noise when you're on the phone.
Right. Okay, take care.
Okay, everybody have a great weekend. Bye.
Take care. We have somebody else on the line. Hafa Wave 105, you're on the air. Hello there, you're on the air.
Yes, sir. I'm on top of the hill here on my Carabao fence. Fixing my Carabao fence because I thank you, the governor and lieutenant governor, for giving me a check today.
You broke the news yesterday right here on Wave 105.
Yes,
Yes,
Pauly,
you did.
but I'm proud of this governor because
Yeah.
taking care of the farmer. So look where I am. I'm right here in the middle of my Carabao field, repairing my Carabao right now.
You shared this information before the office of the governor did, too, so I really appreciate you sharing that
the
here.
governor is outstanding for helping the farmer.
There you go.
But Pauly, I'm not going to go wrong for voting Joshua Tenorio and Tina Muñoz Barnes because look what happened to the farmer. He acts so quickly to fund us to repair the damage of this typhoon that passed away. He do it so quickly. But it's for me and Pauly, I believe on these governors, Antonio Muñoz Barnes, that these are more experienced to run and help the people of Guam. But in my heart, like I said, I do not lie with my vote. From the beginning, I never change. Like I said, nobody gonna change me. When I promise people and I go to church, I do not lie. I believe in God, and I believe on my vote that this governor will carry out to help the people of Guam. Because you know why, Pauly, I'm saying that?
Go ahead, why?
I don't care who is going to be the next governor. I am sick and tired with the lie. But this governor does what build the damn hospital. Why are you challenging the new hospital? We need a new hospital to take care of our people of Guam, especially the one here in the south side. But my question, please, I'm asking all my friends and supporters out there, and whoever likes Mr. Duenas up here in the top of the mountain, because I'm right here on top of the mountain. If you don't like Josh and you like Mr. Duenas, I'm asking you to follow me and let's support Josh in an early voting. I'll be the first one to be there online because that's how much I like Josh Tenorio and Tina Muñoz Barnes. Because I'm telling you, Pauly, a lot of people calling me to support other governors that are running. But when I promise, I cannot break my promise because Josh is more experienced to serve the people of Guam right now. And let me tell you, on Senator Turistilay, when I was talking to her, I'm sorry, Senator Tilahi, that I'm going to say this out. How could you become a governor of Guam when we're talking and we cannot even finish the conversation? You just walk away from me. What kind of leadership that we have in the legislature when you're just ignoring me? And shake your head, because I was asking her a question. Are you going to run for governor? Shake her head, walk away from me so quick. So are you going to do that if you're going to become a governor of Guam? That kind of attitude, there's no way I'm going to support you, Senator Turistilay. I love everybody that are running. I respect them in my heart because they're trying their best to support Guam people. But the best choice for me is the LT and Tina Muñoz Barnes. That's the proven people that I will support all the way to help the people of Guam. And I'm sorry, I'm so tired. I'm sweating like hell up here in the mountain.
Take a
But
break,
Pauly,
senor.
thank you very much for
You're
putting
welcome.
me on the air.
You're welcome.
People that are on the first batch of the agriculture payment, your
Yes.
check are ready to be picked up. They were issued out 9:30 this morning. Hopefully you get it. I'm praying for all the farmers. And thank you, Governor. Thank you very much for putting that out so quick. And the farmer on the first batch are very happy because they're calling me up. I am not a director. I'm just there to help all of you. Adios, Pauly.
Adios.
Take
Have a
care.
great weekend.
Maraming salamat po. Vote Joshua Tenorio and Tino Mona Barnes. You cannot go wrong. Adios.
Adios. So he broke the news yesterday. Remember when he called in? This came out. He making that statement came out before the release. So the release did come out, saying that the Leandro Tenorio administration announced today that the first batch of checks to cover crop losses by local farmers are set to be distributed by the Guam Department of Agriculture tomorrow, which is today, right? So the first disbursement totals, like he shared, are more than $250,000, $239,000. Governor Lou Leon Guerrero says this is good news for our local growers and livestock producers. Our climate supports year-round crop production, and so this money can be put to use right away by farmers who suffered losses from Super Typhoon Sinlaku just 60 days ago. Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio says this support for our farmers and livestock producers illustrates our commitment to supporting agriculture in Guam. I want to recognize the hardworking men and women at the Guam Department of Agriculture who stood up the crop loss coverage program quickly and efficiently in the aftermath of Typhoon Sinlaku. It says here that affordability is a top-of-mind issue for the people of Guam, and the agriculture sector is no exception. Guam's crop loss compensation program provides tangible benefit solutions through payment for input costs on crops lost to a natural disaster. This includes, but not limited to, labor, seeds, and fertilizer, property, and equipment. Sinlaku caused severe damage to Guam's agricultural sector. An estimated 500 farms suffered combined losses of at least $2 million. 5:36 in the afternoon. We have one more break to go to. But real quick, before we go to that, I'll give you another quote here from that same release. GDOA Director, Deputy Director Glenn Takai says, who was instrumental in the initial damage assessment, says, while this initial disbursement marks an important milestone, it is only the first phase of the recovery efforts. There's still more work ahead, and the Department of Agriculture remains committed to completing the remaining distributions as quickly as possible so that our farmers can continue rebuilding and strengthening Guam's food security. We got to take the break? Yes. All right, so we'll do that. You want to just go right into traffic?
Let's do that.
All
but
right.
Before, there was a gentleman that just called asking if there's any update or any news about DSNAP.
No.
So
They're still kind of working on that. No, there is no update of us getting DSNAP.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So
they still need to get that whole thing approved by FEMA.
Yeah, exactly. All right. 5:37 in the afternoon, and right about now it's time to check the roads of Guam. Moving you forward, Mr. Pauly Suba.
All right. So, I'm seeing a whole lot of congestion, specifically on Route 1 in the Tamuning area. And then near John F. Kennedy High School and through Upper Tumon. Trying to get out of Tumon over by Tarza Water Park. Expect delays there because everything is extremely slow in the Upper Tumon area. And even Route 16 connecting to Route 1. And that line goes all the way. Doesn't kind of clear up until right around Isengsong Road, Route 28. So that intersection where Route 1 and Route 28 meet, that's where things finally clear up for you as you continue to head northbound. Mild congestion on Harmon Loop Road, trying to get around all of that as well. So it's kind of like pick your poison. You're going to still see some delays even in Harmon Loop, and then eventually trying to get onto one again. You'll all meet up there. So once again, helping you move forward on this Friday. That's Guam Auto Spot. Schedule that test drive today. Call them up, 478-AUTO. View their inventory on their website at guamautospot.com.
Before it became the universal symbol of romance and luxury, this iconic crimson flower was actually used as a badge of war. Welcome to the National Day Spotlight for June 12th.
Long before we began gifting long-stem bouquets for National Red Rose Day, the flower served as a high-stakes political emblem during one of history's bloodiest conflicts. In 15th century England, two rival royal houses launched a brutal 30-year civil war for control of the British throne. The House of York famously marched under the banner of a white rose, while the House of Lancaster chose the vibrant red rose as their military emblem. The conflict tore the nation apart until Henry Tudor, a Lancastrian, finally won the crown. To unite the warring factions and heal the country, he married Elizabeth of York and cleverly merged their symbols into a single crest known as the Tudor rose, proving that the red rose was once a powerful tool used to seal a royal peace treaty.
They had to look a little bit silly, wearing a rose on their suit of armor.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
that's kind of funny.
It almost sounds like a Monty Python type of script, right?
It does, doesn't
like
it?
you'd be tucking away this red rose somewhere on your suit of armor as you're
marching into battle. We're also celebrating National Loving Day and National Movie Night. I'm Alice Anderson.
And I'm Arlo Anderson with National Day Calendar, reminding you to celebrate every day.
Turn us on and turn up the island dialogue. Wave 105, the talk of Guam, Glimpses Media.
The road to Adelup is set. This time we sit down with Democrat candidates Senator Joe San Agustin and former Senator Dwayne San Nicolas. Catch the full conversation that took place on May 8th on the Wave 105 YouTube channel. Stay informed and hear their vision for Guam's future. Wave 105 is a Glimpses of Guam radio station.
Now make it mellow. Yeah. Look here. There's a new dance, y'all. Show is tough. In order to do it, y'all, though, you got to tighten up. Come on, y'all, show them how to tighten up, baby.
We're 42 minutes into the hour of 5 o'clock, slowly approaching the 6 o'clock hour. This is the Bright Side right here on Wave 105. Thank you for tuning in. Here's the number, 671-922-1051 or 2. Give us a call. Talk to this gentleman right here, Mr. Pauly Suba.
All right, welcome back. Real quick, this story dropped earlier today. President Donald Trump making national news.
Okay.
He took action today, earlier, a couple hours ago, to restore commercial fishing within 3 of America's marine national monuments in the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
Rolling back protections for areas that are considered pristine ocean ecosystems. The White House said the move is ahead of Trump's action is aimed at boosting the U.S. fishing industry and lowering seafood prices for consumers. One of those national monuments is the Mariana Trench Marine National Monument off the coast of Guam. Congresswoman King Hines was there in attendance. I saw some photos. I didn't see our congressman there in attendance, but this is still, I think, really good news for our fisheries, right? Mariana Trench and the Rose Atoll are 3 of the nation's 5 marine national monuments. A designation assigned because scientists recognize the underwater areas as some of the most effective tools for improving ocean ecosystems and threatened fish stocks. This, again, according to the National Parks Conservation Association. The nation's 8 regional fishery management councils have raised concerns about prohibitions on fishing within the monument, saying in a June 2025 letter to Trump, they are counterproductive to domestic fishing goals. So you have two counters to what is happening, right? Yeah. And so if we can, the OG's here with us.
Yeah, I know a lot about that.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, this is there's a reason why a monument is made. Mm-hmm. There's a reason why Palau has the size of California as a preserve, and they catch a boat in that area. They get the crew on board their boat, and then they sink that boat.
Yeah.
Sink it, period.
Right.
That's what they do.
Right.
So here in the Marianas, it's protected. We have longliners, not so much purse seiners. Purse seiners, they already cleaned up. They cleaned up here, and then they went to the Indian Ocean. Zenowich, the Z-boats. Unbelievable. Caught more fish than any place. We used to get there 18 inches or less to use for bait up in Tinian. But these guys cleaned up that area, and then the longliners came in. And the longliners, mostly from Asia. And they lay out these lines, and they clean up. Okay. So right now, the word with the fishermen in Guam is that the fish stock from the grounds where there are eggs laid and a little bit of incubation, they're on their way here as a migratory, no more. They don't see that. The only see now is the guys who are going out in these really nice Yamaha, almost 30-foot boats with a 40-horse Mercury on the back or Yamaha on the back to take them on the reef, that they're doing a lot of fishing.
Sure.
Right? And that's the local fish that's coming in now.
Yeah.
But what we have to remember in this realm is a monument is made for a reason. I understand where you're saying from, to open it up, but it's already open up to the people in Saipan. It's already open up to the people in Guam. Oh, this is all NOAA. This is National Oceanic. And in that aspect, if you have any kind of a licensed, documented vessel, a U.S., 51% or more made of it, you can fish in the Mariana Islands. But anybody else coming in, no. And NOAA flies over it. The Coast Guard flies over it, looks for these things.
Well, I know the U.S. Coast Guard's adding another fast response cutter,
as they should.
And so they're like the watchdogs of these oceans.
Right, and that's the monument.
Yes.
That's a monument. So
allowing them to fish would be okay as long as those that have the right certifications, like you were mentioning.
Yeah, the Marianas, the people who live here.
Right.
Yeah,
and you have the right, and you pay the taxes to CMI to fish in these areas. So what you do is
every time you go in, you write down every fish that you caught, and you make a record, and their Fish and Wildlife gets that information.
Right.
We've been doing it for years.
Because the law doesn't say that anybody can go fish. You still have to pay your taxes to the CNMI, to Guam, and then you create a create an industry.
Well, if it depends on what kind of fishing you're talking about. If you want to go up, like we have our coming up October is the big fishing derbies, right? So you see that concentration, right?
Sure.
But the guy going out every day to go out and go trolling right now, they're not catching. And that in itself is a warning that maybe there are vessels, because where the grounds where the fish in a migratory sense, the eggs are laid, and that's where they come from, and that's getting depleted.
Maybe that's why Moylan wasn't there.
Well, to whatever reason, he's not there. It's always been something that, interestingly enough, for us in the Marianas, why don't we have a commercial fishing venture? Why isn't that boat down there at the in Aganya Marina, the nice, no doubt it's Japanese boat? Why isn't that used by the co-op to go out and catch fish? It's been sitting there for years. And so what this thing is, because there's none in that realm. You know why? It's because of the storms, Pauly. Because of the storms. As soon as you hear something's going on down in Chuk or Ponape, you go to Safe Harbor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you go to Safe Harbor, because that's just the nature of this location. It's the blessing of it. And in that, you have that opportunity, of course, to as our Captain Kodama very clearly stated, the ocean is the biggest bank in the world. The only thing you have to do is go out and make withdrawals from it. And that's what I was taught to do. And we did the commercial fishing. We went to all these islands. I got godchildren up up north. You know, it's just such a beautiful sense, and everybody should experience this, because that's what Governor Tory saved Pagan from artillery shooting from battleships. Saved it by bringing up deer meat for dinner, and that adventure, and showed it commercially, so everybody got to see that it was an eco-tourist agency. And like we mentioned before, and these battleships have to turn their guns around and protect that. And so that's the steps that we have to take. So there's a monument. There's a reason why.
I get it. And so, I mean, how do the other small island nations do this?
Ask Palau.
Every ship has to be registered to fish in their fishing
Absolutely.
area, right?
When Van Camps was there, the whole thing.
Yes. And so if the Coast Guard already has all of this information easily. They don't have to board these ships. They notice based on the identity on the ship.
And with satellites,
so that would still happen in these areas that were monuments. Still allowing them to fish there.
What's the change?
Allowing them to fish in these monuments as long as they're registered within
Guam
and the Sinamai.
That's already.
Yeah,
we're already doing that.
No, because they fully.
You're talking about foreign boats coming in.
No, the Biden administration stopped in these waters and said this is a monument. There will be no fishing. No fishing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And so President
because
Trump
it was Bush that made it.
Yeah, and Biden continued it.
But then he decided no fishing at all, and even
fishing in these monuments.
How come we've been fishing?
These are they're not charter companies, right? These are not bigger industries that have the capabilities.
Well, we have that here. We have those charter boats.
Do we really? Do we really have a lot of that?
Sports. Well, we have the equipment, but we haven't been doing much of it. When Tim Bada was running 3 boats, and he was going out every day, hit all 3 boats, and they'd contests within their groups, and Japanese.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It's not like it was in the 90s, right? There was more investment happening in the 90s when it came to fishing.
I tell you, you want to know really the best time at all?
All the time, right?
We
got some. We got some.
Right
really,
now, right now, there's no clouds in the sky. The sun is going to set, and everybody can see a green flash if you want to watch that sunset. And always remember Harao's speech. Always remember that you don't. Why do we have to die to have our paradise? He knew. The Chamorro people here in the Marianas knew that they were living in their paradise. Everything was exactly the way it was supposed to be. And in that sense, in that mindset, where that is, that's a higher dimensional self. How could it not be in that realm of living with your Guelo and Guela, right? To have that ability to be so strong in that, that 60 to 90,000 of you died with the Spanish killing you because of your beliefs. Because of your beliefs as a Chamorro. And so in that aspect, what we have to do, Pauly, we have to sit down and make an invoice and take it to Spain with somebody who's, you know who would be the best person to take it?
I can think of a number of people, obviously. I mean, to be honest with you, the governor would be...
Absolutely. And on one side of her would be Madeline, and on the other side would be Laura Sauter.
Okay.
And those 3 women take an invoice to the King of Spain and say, we have, 80,000 deaths. Yeah. We want at least 1.2 million for each one of those. We have completely destroyed our infrastructure, and we were all forced to live in one place. Damage is punitive, leaving our own islands. That's another $3, $4, $5 billion. And then you guys come anytime you want and enjoy. The king didn't stop it. Remember the boat went by? Remember the boat? Remember the Spanish boat? They didn't come into port. You see like Angel Santos and his aspect of where he was in the Chamorro Nation and his thought and that realm that when the Pope came here, when Pope John came here, for me, being like your dad maybe a little bit, you're watching really close, right? Because you never know that, not saying anything other than from someone who may think in that aspect way, way, way back thoughts and have this thing that they should make a statement is completely not out of hand. It happens all over the world. But for here in the Marianas, we are so blessed with our paradise. We go, come on in. Come on in, COVID boat. Come on in, park up. Yeah. Just don't kill any more of us. Okay. You hungry? I'm sorry I asked. Here's the food.
Right.
Yeah. No, but that's it. What we have to always remember is Hurrah speech. Why do we have to die to have our paradise? That, no doubt, was the chant as they get killed in a violent death and their ether escapes. And that's what we experience in our Tatamona. Doing the same thing they did throughout wherever you are. A friend of mine slept inside one of the caves.
Okay.
Yeah, spent the night. Said it was a little rough.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of noises.
Wow. So
Yeah.
not just uncomfortable rough, but
not uncomfortable as sleeping. I mean, you get comfortable, right? Taking
Restless.
but the aspect of just what you hear in that realm. So that might be a new place to put some microphones, right? And just see what you hear.
Didn't they do all of that before? Like this big company or big production came and tried to do all of that, but didn't capture much?
Well, you know who captures the most than anybody?
When somebody's not even thinking about it.
The Audubon Society.
Okay.
The Audubon Society puts microphones everywhere in the trees, all around, and then they'll hear.
That's for the birds.
That's for the birds,
right? But they're also capturing a number of other things.
Yeah, conversations.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So one of the interesting thing is with these guys in the Audubon Society, what I always state: if you are in a land activist, if you are in a sense where you want to protect land or ocean, or ocean with the mining. The most powerful lobbying agency is the Audubon Society. And if you can sell them that seabirds are going to be maybe, stuff coming up and the bird seeing it and going down and hitting some phosphate or something, that might be something the Audubon Society might want to look at. The Audubon Society is so rich.
Really?
What are we going to do? Go look for birds? Let's go look at birds. Go look at birds. You got time to look at birds, Pauly?
I do not.
St. Joseph, you got time to go outside, look at some birds for a couple of days?
I wish.
But
I
you
wish
see,
I had
but
some.
you see what I mean? I mean,
they're always looking to the community to come out with them. And,
Oh yeah. Oh no, absolutely. There's a society here. It's
Yeah.
wonderful. But those are the folks who, all the activists in that realm, any kind of environmental activist, you go to them and sell them on what it is that you're talking about with, references and folks that say, yeah, that could be a risk. Our seabirds could be at risk because of mining silt coming up.
Oh,
but
yeah.
so anyway, that's just as a side note, right? To make things happen. Now I got real quick out of the way.
Yes.
What we have to do is we have to find out what we can do. I know between now and I guess an inauguration, that the top lieutenant governor and the Republican Party.
We're going to run. We're going to race. Remember?
The top Democrat also.
Okay.
Okay. And then unofficially the top independent, Jeffrey, and our gangs. And then what they do is every month they get to be governor and lieutenant governor. And it rolls over.
There you go.
And it rolls over.
Right.
But the people who are working within their realms are all.
They switch out too?
The aspect of the chiefs would.
Okay.
And probably the legal would.
Right.
But the thing about it is that those people are still there working for their own governor.
Okay.
Nobody, it just expands the area. And so they have all those spaces. Everybody has their space. But every day, everybody meets.
Right.
The governors meet. And the number one rule that flashes across, what is the most good we can do for the most people today?
Right.
Period.
That is always.
That's the motto.
Yes.
And they sit there and they look at it and they figure it
Yeah.
out, and then they tell all their folks to get busy and go do it.
That's why I've always loved the Salvation Army slogan. Do the most good.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And being in an army is interesting. The Salvation Army. No, these guys are great, and they're all got their captains. And,
Right.
Yeah, no, it's a real serious operation, and they're very successful at what they do. The lighthouse. I know a lot of the guys from the RSAT go there, and have a time of it. As they're integrated.
What do we got going on today?
Well, we're really into this. I don't know.
Age of disclosure.
Well, that's tomorrow,
Yes.
right? Or I don't know if we're having it on. We get the 12th. We get it before everybody else, or we got to wait for the 13th.
I think so. You can watch it tonight. Yeah, at the theaters.
Oh, okay,
Yep.
midnight.
It is available.
Oh.
I think it's on. It
right.
was since last night.
Oh wow, okay.
So regular times
okay.
today.
Okay, so what are we doing sitting here?
Right?
Yeah, no.
I think we don't even need to watch the movie. You already know.
Well, if it's not already you, then who is it?
Right. Right.
That's the disclosure.
Right.
That you're the alien. You're the hybrid. You were in this aspect, and the Anunnaki came, and we got these reptilians who are kind of running this thing underground, and our 13 families that run the ball game, the cannibalism, the drinking blood, that whole Epstein thing. How deep in the wormhole do you want to go? And then what you walk into, of course, is the portal, the Stargate, and that is love. That's love. The whole ball game is love. Embrace it with all your heart, because love is what rules the whole universe. And as long as you go Guaiza, and love, 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 you don't have to worry about any of that stuff.
Right.
And it's not part of your life, because that's third dimensional, and that's the species, and it's in trouble.
Right.
But us as individuals, through our fifth dimensional realm, and that's kind of the stuff we're going to talk about. But yeah, these wormholes are going crazy, and they're all opening up because there's no more veil.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, when life, when we feel like life is getting too difficult, it becomes overwhelming. I always do go back to what you say, because you are absolutely right. All we need in our life is love.
Yeah.
Love is the answer.
That's the whole ball game.
It
Just
is,
listen to the Beatles.
That's right. Let's play ball.
Yeah, absolutely. And hug. And how many times a day can you say I love you?
I love you.
Yeah. And every mononcle you see, you look at them and you almond them, and you look right in their eyes and you go, "You're so beautiful."
There you go.
And wow, do they light up.
There you go. Time to get out of here. But please don't go anywhere, because Rand, the OG Kaufman, is just getting started. Right?
Wound up.
Yes.
Wound up.
So everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you again on Monday. We've got Edge of Heaven coming up. Guaiza. Be kind to each other, especially out on those roads. Adios.
Though you may not drive a great big Cadillac, gangsta white